Hello and welcome to episode 40 of Things We Play. It's Tuesday the 23rd of October. My name is Mike Oldman and I am joined as always by Joe Tanetta.
Hello.
And Shaun Hart.
Hello.
Oh,
a bit graphic.
Yeah. Practicing your Vader. It's 23rd of October. That means that 7 days have passed and some games have come out. Games are coming out now, which is cool. Kind of excited about that. There wasn't really much in the last week.
No,
some weird games.
It wasn't great.
Like weird old games. It almost felt like because there was Doom.
Yeah.
Doom coming back was kind of weird. Doom, and it was just straight up Doom 3. Just came out. Like here goes Doom 3. Like they've forgotten it came out. You know, and like someone was just going through its catalogue and on the shelf were loads of copies of Doom 3, and they went, did we put that out? Like I vaguely remember that being on sale at some point, but fuck it, let's just put it out again. And so Doom 3 came out. There was more to it than that.
Yeah.
There's
a couple of little bits.
Yeah, there's extra stuff, but it's still very much a game of yesteryear that's just for some reason back.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more. But there was that new Bond game, you know, sort of harking on the GoldenEye sort of trip. And then not a lot really else.
No.
Some dancing stuff. Dancing Time 4.
Well, it's build up to Christmas, so you need your dance games in.
Exactly.
It's standard practice
if
now,
you put them out now, then you've got enough time to buy them all.
Yeah.
Before Christmas. Like that must happen in families, right? How much does that suck? Or how much do you suck as a kid if for Christmas you're really excited about the fact that you've got Just Dance 4 and Dance Central? Like you don't need that much dancing in your life. Why? And there's probably more than that. There's probably kids that got like 3 or 4 dance games, and those kids should be shot. Those Britain's Got Talent fucks, you know, that at some point in their life are going to be dancing. Well, it used to be because this is the thing, right? So it used to be a case of, and it really did. This used to happen all the time. There used to be malls, shopping malls around the country that randomly Michael Barrymore would turn up at, and there'd be like some sort of party competition thing. Sometimes it's on TV, sometimes it's not, but regularly a stage erected in a mall, and then I don't know, something would happen. Never anything as exciting as the blind date rip-off in Mallrats.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
You know, always stuff like, oh, look, there's a kid dancing, or there's a man hula hooping and stuff. And it's like, that doesn't happen anymore. That's now on television. That's on television on like a prime spot on a Friday or Saturday night of like, this is entertainment. People who you don't give a shit about doing stuff that you couldn't care less about, and people going nuts for it.
But that's the question. Is kind of Saturday around 7 o'clock-ish prime television anymore?
It's a fair point.
Most people are out or watching something on the internet.
You say most people are out, but we are 3 people that are never out at that time, you know?
Sure.
You like to think.
But I'm not watching like Strictly Come Dancing either.
No, that's true.
Unless I'm waiting for Merlin or Doctor Who.
But it is weird, that whole thing of sort of like, it's just people you don't give a fuck about doing stuff that you couldn't give a shit about. And everyone goes bananas for it and phones in their millions.
It's whenever someone mentions it, I'm like, I really don't give a fuck about this guy.
Exactly. He's very talented. He's a very talented guy. And the dogs were wonderful. I can believe it when they go on top of each other and the hoops and stuff, you know? And that little girl, she sung beautifully. I just... Like, it's different, right? If you see, like, a 5-year-old singing an opera piece or something, and it's really good, you're like,
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. If a man gets on stage with 2 dogs and they start juggling fire, actually, that does sound pretty cool. But generally, you know, you don't care about most of it. It's like, Joe, stuff you say you can do, I don't care about. You know?
But there's not much I can do. So.
No, that's true. I barely believe the whole reading writing thing. We don't go into it.
It's pretty close. It's by the wire on that one.
Just gets confused as to which one you're doing. Am I reading this or writing it? You know, starts writing something halfway through, goes, I thought I was reading that, and then I don't know. That stuff's crazy. I don't know how that conversation came about. Where that came from?
No,
but I'm glad it's out there. Yeah. I am glad it's out there.
We said our piece.
Let's have a bit of an update then on where we are since last Tuesday. I'm still somewhere in the process between moving house and having moved house. I'm a little bit closer to the having moved house part. We're in the new place now. Joe, you commented on the spots of paint that are missing from the walls.
That large square I'm looking at right this second is less than a spot. Is a lot more.
Yeah,
than a spot.
but no. So actually, if you look around carefully, there's a lot of spots in this room that haven't officially been painted yet, but they're like conveniently hidden by the angles that the seats are placed in, so that you're sitting them and you won't really be able to see all of them at any one point.
I am trying to avoid looking at the walls because I know they're there and it's driving me mad.
It's but it's deceptively, planned out so that at no point do you see it all. It's all right. It's never as bad as you think, Joe. I saw a man on Grand Designs last night. I was watching Grand Designs.
Grand Designs is awesome.
Yeah, let's build a house out of a nothing. Out of a nothing a lot of the time, you know? What always disappoints me about Grand Designs, for those that don't know, Grand Designs is it's a cookery program that has no cooking in it. It's a cookery program about building houses. And basically, what always gets me about Grand Designs, they always go way over budget. Way over budget. Not one, and I mean this, Joe, not one of those houses has cost £1,000.
People, yeah.
They sometimes go 2 or 3 times that.
Yeah.
100, 200 or 300 times.
It's mental. But yeah, I watched one last night. There was this crazy scientist dude. It was like, I always wanted to build a house. He wasn't a scientist. He was like a mad engineer, but he madly wanted to build a house all of his life, and it was kind of nice because he finally got to build his house. It still kind of sucked a little bit. Like, well, yeah, he's like 78 years old now or something. So
he can't
what's
really
the point?
enjoy it.
Yeah, you needed this house 50 years ago. But the house was a kit. Like, they built it all, including painting the walls and carpeting the floors in like a warehouse, and then it snapped together like Lego on the actual place. And it was just like, that should have been done before by now. Really? But the whole thing was painted.
Yeah, it happens a lot in
plug
places.
sockets. It was just like layering walls in.
Yeah. It happens a lot in Germany. There's a massive company in Germany that does entire houses, and they're very
A
popular.
lot of stuff happens in Germany, Joe. A lot of stuff happens in Germany that stays in Germany, Joe.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure you should have mentioned that. I'm just saying. So Grand Designs, yes. So this has been nothing like Grand Designs. This has not cost £1,000, and it shows. But I'm nearly there. I'm probably going to have all my stuff in today, which will be fun because there's no TV. No TV, no Xbox means very little Xbox gaming going on.
Sure.
That doesn't mean I haven't done any. I've had a little bit of time for some Minecraft.
But I mean, in one respect, you are winning in comparison to most people on Grand Designs because inevitably, whoever's putting up the money and making the house, usually makes themselves project manager and then fucks off for 2 weeks at the beginning.
That's true.
of the project, and then it all goes tits up from there, which then makes them go over budget.
Well, and mine won't go over budget because there's no budget.
Well, then you're already over
That's
budget.
the thing. Like, I suppose, yeah.
If your budget was zero,
started off over
and you
budget.
spent a £5, you've failed.
People just never understand when building a house what they need.
What do you think they need, Joe? What do they need? Tell us what they need.
It's like
curtains. They need
have
curtains, right?
Yeah.
Everyone needs curtains. It's chilly.
They never have enough money, and even if they don't have enough, they're always making changes, which always skyrockets prices, and then just assume that it's the builder's fault.
Yeah, I mean, today alone, when I was building my super fortress in Minecraft, I fucked up the measurements, so I had to knock down an entire wall. That project would have gone over budget by like 250 grand.
Yeah,
I had to knock down one wall, then build another wall, and then knock down another wall because I built it on the wrong side.
Well, so that was what was nuts about this kit house that this dude made the other night, because in 9 days there was a house there. You know, like obviously it was all built elsewhere, but when they went to the actual point, there was like 9 days time there was a fucking house that you could walk around. Yeah. It was huge. It was like 3 stories and crazy. So that is kind of nuts. But this is actually. You're more on the side of the builder in this, aren't you, Joe? Because
yes.
You've done buildy stuff before.
I've done a lot of this stuff. Yes.
See, I've never lifted a brick.
That's why I like Grand Designs. I like seeing these things take shape and watching people's designs.
Because you were all then like, oh, they always blame the builder. Yeah, like I'd blame the fucking builder. I'd blame anyone. I'd just be like, where's my house? I need it. Like all I've given them is like a napkin with like a crayon house on the front, you know, like a triangle for a roof and a square. And like, just give me that. Give me that now. Make it have 1 million bedrooms. And a ball pit. A ball pit in the basement. I was discussing this last night. If I could build my own house on Grand Designs, because they never go mental. They're always like, it's a nice house. Don't build a nice house. Build a crazy house. I would like a fireman's pole from the bedroom into the basement where there's a ball pit and slides from various other places. I want a piano, a grand piano, that when I play a certain chord, a bookcase revolves around, and behind that is a laboratory or just a fridge. I don't care. But I want. Oh, that would be really good. Maybe secret passageways. They're always fun, but secret passageways still like really mundane things, like the fridge.
Right.
So you go up to the bookcase and you pull back Gone with the Wind or something.
Cooking with Jamie Oliver.
Yeah, exactly. And the microwave door opens, and it's somewhere. It's in the floor or something. Or a fish tank opens up, and it's not really a fish tank. It's I don't know, a wine cooler. That's what I want. They never do that.
Because those things cost a fortune.
Do they? Do they, Joe?
They do actually. Yeah.
I mean, all right. I can't be that much more.
Especially if you're already an engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe me.
To
do things
surely
like
you could just
cost
like
a
borrow
fortune.
the odd bit and piece from work.
Yeah.
Install it yourself. Yeah, piece.
Simple.
Yeah.
Simple.
I guess it depends what kind of engineer you are.
Yeah, it's true. And have cool stuff. Like have a big freezer, a big fridge freezer with tall standing things. But have it as a door. Like you open up the fridge. It's not really a fridge. The back's not there, and you walk into another room.
Things like that are simple.
And you can always redirect funds from other places. Just don't have glass.
No glass in the house, Joe. No glass, no worries, as the song goes. So, it's interesting. So that's what's happening for me anyway, a rather mundane move that's not as exciting as that. No helipads involved. And no ball pit, unless I suddenly change my mind and go, do you know what, who needs a bathroom really?
You should just do it in your bedroom, just surround your bed in balls.
That's true. That sounds a lot like your bedroom, Joe.
No.
All those balls. That's all I'm saying. So how's your week been then, Joe? Just tell me about that.
I've had a very busy week.
You've always had a really busy week.
I know.
You always give these really vague descriptions. Like, when I ask you how your week's gone, you're like, oh, I've been really busy, and then that's it. Or I'm not really doing very much, and then that's it.
I've been busy at work.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Busy at work or busy working? As in, like, have you been working lots, or have you just been, whilst at work, frantically running around, like you're playing Burger Time?
A bit of both, really.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Any stories to come out of this? I'm searching.
No, not really.
I'm searching for content here.
The only real interesting thing this week is I got a new phone.
You did get a new phone, actually. That's a good point. I was quite impressed by it. You've got a Samsung Galaxy S3.
I have indeed, yes.
Which is a preposterous name for a phone.
It's long.
Phones have always been like that, though. Yeah, am I right? Like people, back in the day when they were like, "Yeah, I've got a Nokia S376," and you're like, "I don't know what the fuck that is." Like, I've got a Nokia phone. Would do. Everyone had a 3310, I think was a thing, but there was like a 6610 and a 6611 and a 72100, and like why?
Was
It's
3310
only phones.
Was the 3310 the Matrix phone?
No,
The pre-Matrix phone.
it was the
3310i.
fucking. I don't know which one. I don't know. It was
The
just
black,
one of
the black
it was
banana.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, and then the Matrix version was the 3310.
The Matrix
which
phone
had
was
the
wicked,
button,
yeah,
but was never released in the UK. They released some
Exactly,
other piece
yeah.
of shit in the UK instead.
That's
When
true.
this is the phone from the Matrix, and like,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
I had a 3310. Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, so why is it though? Why have phones always had that crazy? I mean, it's why the iPhone's quite good, although they have got into it with like 3GS, 3G, 4S, and it doesn't even follow the same fucking pattern, which is the worst thing. But other phones, like printers, also do it.
Yeah.
I've got the Epson 675-100. Great, that's good. What does that take? What fucking ink do I put in that? Is it the same that I put in my phone? So phones, printers, cars to a degree, but cars are more just sort of abstract, weird names, right?
Yeah.
It's the Ford Panther Dragon.
Panther.
You'd buy that. You'd ride that. You wouldn't drive that. So I don't understand. But you got a Galaxy S3 and you like it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's
really.
fucking huge.
It is massive.
It's like an iPad in your pocket. It's massive.
it is.
The screen
Large.
is as big as an iPhone.
Yeah, it is bonkers. I must admit, I really like them. The only thing that kind of forbid me coming from the Apple side of things is it feels just flimsy as hell.
Yeah, they are very
it's
light. Yeah.
really light. The iPhone 5 is the same. It's
Yeah.
really light. But when I pick up my 4, it is heavy.
There's weight behind it,
heavy.
yeah.
And it's heavy because it's fucking stupid. Like the iPhone 4 is one of those ones that just looks like Apple were just going, could we make a phone like that? Yeah, fuck it, let's do it. It doesn't really matter. The height of their madness. It's glass. The entire fucking thing's glass. The back of the phone is glass.
Why don't you just strike that a couple of times?
That is mental. So yours feels like, a frisbee.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like that.
But the screen is gorgeous.
It is.
How are you adjusting to Android life?
I actually like Android life.
This is
good.
like a new thing.
Yeah,
Joe died last week. And this is not actually Joe. This is Joe 1000. It's Android life's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's nice to switch from using an iPhone to an Android because you switch.
Is it? I would argue probably most people would go, that's the worst thing they've ever done in their life. Because that's a big change. That's like going like I'm a Mac user and all of a sudden I'm using a PC. You just feel like life's punishing you.
Yeah, but I thought after a couple of years, a change would be nice rather than just going from an iPhone to an iPhone.
You're probably at that time in your life, at the right age in your life, where you're able to make a switch like that, Joe.
Yeah.
You're adaptable still.
It does come a point, where it's so like, no, change is bad.
Institutionalised.
Yeah.
Maybe in a few years' time, I will go back to an iPhone and be like, I have missed this.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you're freer now. You're freer. You can think how you want to think. But that's okay. That's all right. You're gaming on it. It's powerful. It's a powerful machine.
There's a lot of power in it.
Yeah, it's like the Mr. T of phones. Is Mr. T powerful? Good question. I don't know. He might be frail.
Out of the A-Team, he was powerful.
Yeah, that's true. You know, and if they got back together now and fought to the death, well, the money would still be on Mr. T, right, rather than fucking face. But he can't be a particularly strong old man.
I think he's strong. He got over cancer, didn't he? That's why he's big into God now. Yeah,
okay,
Mr. T.
All right, fair enough.
Does that mean he stopped doing World of Warcraft adverts now? He's big into God. He's still doing those.
Yeah, and Snickers adverts.
Snickers ads.
In a giant tank.
Or a helicopter.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a converted Android user now.
I am.
Everything's great.
Yes.
What games have you been playing on it?
I've been playing a bit of Game Dev Story. I had to pick that back up.
Okay.
I've been playing Grand Theft Auto 3.
Okay.
Which looks awesome, really does.
He's still playing on a phone though. I've got Grand Theft Auto 3 on my iPhone, and it's just...
It's a bit weird.
Yeah. Like I kind of bought it to go, wow, yeah, Grand Theft Auto on an iPhone, and then you're like, but it's almost unplayable.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, and I got it at the beginning when it was like $6.99 or something, something crazy like that. And yeah, I'm never gonna finish it. It'd be impossible to finish it. Like the difficulty spike in that game now that it's on a touch screen is just insane.
Well, it's just in the game itself.
Well, yeah, but try it when you can't control it.
Yeah,
you know? It's like using a power glove. Okay, yeah, that's cool. You got World of Goo today.
Yes, I did. Yes.
So that's all right. That's a good game. Have you played that before?
I have done. On
Do you
PC.
like Goo?
I'm not a big fan of Goo, but
shame, disappointing. What about you, Shaun? How's your week been?
Yeah, relatively uneventful, quite peaceful.
Quite peaceful.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's like settling down.
It's the kind of polar opposite of last week.
Yeah. Okay. Now that is good, and it's good to sort of you need to take those times now and relish in them because this is what I realised yesterday. Christmas is like tomorrow or something.
Yeah, pretty close.
It's fucking insanely close, which means good games are coming as well.
Yes.
Something reminded me. I don't know if it was a tweet from Xbox or if it was my Xbox itself, but it went like, "Yo, Halo 4, man, it's coming. You can smell it."
Yeah, what Halo feels like two and a half weeks.
It's like 2 weeks away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
It's close.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, so in your piece, what have you been doing? What's
I've watched like 20 episodes of Heroes.
That's
season 3.
Season 3.
Yeah, because I've seen season 1 and 2 back in the day when they were on telly and stuff.
Oh, okay. So this is new Heroes.
Yeah, this I kind of.
I didn't realise.
Jumped to roughly where I was in season 3, and I've just picked up.
I didn't get on with Heroes. I went nuts for Heroes when it came out, and the first season is brilliant, right?
It is.
I'm right in remembering that.
I don't know. The debate. My argument would be that the pinnacle of all of Heroes to date is kind of the transition between episode 4 and 5, where Hiro Nakamura comes back from the future the first time anyone time travels in that TV show. Oh, maybe Peter
it's a big bomb to drop the T-bomb.
It's and he talks to Peter on the train, and that blew my mind. Yeah. I was like, man, this is the greatest TV show ever.
It is brief, isn't it? It is the equivalent of the end of Back to the Future, where Doc suddenly appears.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just like there, and Hero's just like, I'm from the future, I'm fucking badass. Credits roll.
Yeah.
And that is the best moment in the entire thing that I ever saw. I didn't see the whole Heroes.
I don't know, when the episode where they actually go into the future and it's badass Pete Petroleum, badass Hero, and they attack a building. It's pretty fucking epic.
That's towards the end of season 1.
But you don't see very much. No, correctly. They go from the parking lot, don't they, at the beginning?
No, they walk in through the main entrance, and Hero's like, "Should I stop time?" And Peter's like, "No, let's do this the old-fashioned way." Right. And then Hero pulls out his sword.
Yeah, and it just cuts away every time
any sort of action's going to happen. Yeah. We haven't got the budget. We can't do that.
Yeah, and it's TV. I don't know how much can they show really. I remember that. I remember thinking that should have been badass, but ultimately I was thinking, I didn't see any of the good bits. Like the bits you took out of that to make some sort of trailer, where are they? Because there's a trailer that must have been cut from that. That's awesome, using all of those parts. It was like some dodgy YouTube video of like his every death that's in a movie or something.
Yeah,
just sliced fucking together. Heroes is alright.
Oh yeah,
it's got some incredibly cute chicks in it in some points. Who's the mind chick with the short hair?
Yeah. No. Oh, season 2 is she?
I don't know.
She's in it briefly. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And there's the waitress woman with the nosebleeds.
Yeah, I like the chick who's in the latest seasons who has the electric power and works for the company.
The power company.
Oh right, Ellie.
Is Ellie? I think it's Ellie.
Yeah, she's dead.
It just the problem with that show for me was they just got into a point of it's that Spider-Man 3 problem almost, and the X-Men problem of just too many characters and too many plot lines going on.
Yeah,
it gets nuts, and I liked it at the beginning when you're like, oh yeah, cool, invincible cheerleader, and clearly one bad guy, and lots of like shoots off to like, oh, this could go over here, or there could be more story going over here, but I don't need to hear about any of that. And then by the time we go into like season 2 and sort of well into its stride, it just feels like they're eking it out. Like they're just going, well, we need to like fucking throw, these points out there that will come to a later point, almost as though they're trying to secure extra seasons.
Sure.
And that was where it sort of fell down.
My issue was that it seemed to have exactly the same mechanic at the beginning of every season.
Yeah.
That someone time travels into the future, sees a disaster, then they set about sorting that out and getting everybody back together.
It just peaked really early, and it was a phenomenal show. It was coming off this is post Lost, isn't it? Lost was first.
Yeah.
And then this came out. And it was sort of playing on the same vibe. It was a revolution for TV
at the time. Yeah,
it was like TV's getting good, TV's getting expensive.
Yeah,
and that was cool. What was the other one? There was another show that I remember watching that had ties to Lost in it, and that had like an oceanic billboard in it. And it must have been some sort of disaster thing if everything stopped or everything was weird. I think it was maybe. I don't know. It was in a city. Maybe a man had a hat.
There was a couple of TV shows that I'm thinking it could have been. From around that time.
They didn't last.
Yeah, there's quite a few that sort of came out around the same time, all roughly seemed like each other.
Something like Edge, something like that, a time phenomenon thing. I didn't watch it.
There was something weird. I mean, it was basically that time of TV where Damon Lindelof was just touching everything. He was just kind of wandering into rooms and going, add a little mystery here. Have you thought about these numbers over here? And then just not explaining shit. He almost got into that Peter Molyneux vibe.
Yeah.
Of going, like, I'm just promising loads of stuff, and then actually, fuck it, second season doesn't matter. And that was a bit of a bummer because there you go. The numbers in Lost is a good example, right?
Lost is just fucking man.
Lost was great, and the number thing was amazing, and I totally bought into that. I was like, it's so fucking creepy, man. The numbers and the machine, the type into the computer, one of the best things I've ever seen. I loved that idea of like every 108 minutes someone's got. That was fucking awesome, and they had no idea why. And then the numbers mean fuck all.
Yeah, how much of Lost did you actually watch?
All of it. Yeah, all of it.
I watched up until season 4, and it's like first season was awesome when I watched it originally. Season 2 wasn't too bad.
No,
and then it just started to go extremely fucking mental and made no sense whatsoever.
I was of the opinion, right? So season 1 is brilliant, but it's so fucking slow. It's so fucking slow. It's like 8 episodes in and nothing has happened. They don't even get. Do they even get to the hatch in the first season?
No,
you think they do, but like I think all that shit.
Or maybe it's like right at the end.
Yeah. I think they find it right at the end.
Yeah,
and then they open it like halfway through season 2.
Yeah, it might even be later than that.
Yeah,
it might be
it's fucking nuts.
The third triarch of season 2.
But season 3 is pretty good. It has the awesome bit where Charlie dies and he writes Not Penny's boat and puts his hand up against the window and he gets blown up in the fucking in the underground station. That's pretty cool. It's a cool moment. Season 4, best season ever. Season 4 is where they go, yo, time travel. They drop the T-bomb, man. Every time you do that in a thing, it gets awesome. Desmond starts fucking jumping through time, and there's all this talk of constants and mad shit, and it's like, that's fucking wicked. And then they just go nowhere with it.
When it reached that bit, I was just like, what the fuck is this show? Yeah. That show just tries to do so much and fails, I swear. I hate it.
The funny thing is, it's like season 1, kind of 5 episodes in, I was like, yeah, I'm buying into this. I'm quite like the show. It's slick. Yeah. Some of the characters got real personality to them. I like it. And then by the end of season 1, I was like, fuck this show. I watched season 2, and then by season 3, I was like, I'm never watching this fucking shit.
It's a tough slog. I had to go back to it. It is a tough slog. But it's totally worth seeing. The ending is not necessarily great, but so much cool shit happens. That is fucking Ben Linus as the bad guy when he is the bad guy, because by the end he's a fucking hero almost. But when he's the leader of the others. In the first few seasons, he's fucking awesome. When he gets captured by them and they're like keeping him hostage, and he's just like an evil motherfucker. He's like Loki in Avengers, he's like real fucking nasty piece of work. That is cool. That is very cool. Lost was a phenomenon that was weird. It was interesting because when we was working on Batman Arkham Asylum, obviously I met Paul Dini a good few times because he wrote the game, and he was one of the writers for the first season of Lost. And then they kind of went, yeah, Paul, great, but yeah. We'll meet in next Tuesday, Paul, yeah? See you there. And then they just quickly email around, meeting on Wednesday. So he was, wasn't involved in the rest of it. And so I couldn't really chat to him about it. He didn't like talking about it as well. That's one thing I definitely remember, was Paul Dini was always a bit sort of like, yeah, fuck us. like it had a bad experience. Like they'd like you imagine them coming, sitting around the table, yeah, Carlton Cuse and Damon Lindelof and everyone just round the table, and that you've only got to have one good idea, and if three of them go, yeah, that's a great idea, if you're the one that's not, then like you're just not wanted in that thing. You're not gonna want to I don't want to go this way with this fucking show. Like I want him to be on the back of a turtle in space or something,
right?
Not some fucking shitty island.
But that show just had no direction. It was just like, we'll just do this, maybe carry it on for a lit, and you just...
you wonder how much the fans were writing it, right?
Yeah.
Like how when you're doing something like that, it was like what 6-7 years that it ran for. Must have been 6 series, wasn't it?
I think it was 6, yeah.
Yeah. And at that point, you've got to be thinking, well, they haven't written. And it is quite clear the whole thing is not that they had an idea, but they hadn't written everything, beforehand. So how do you? I'd love to know the last minute changes of like when what's it like when you're going online to check out the lost forums and people are freaking out about what these numbers means, and you're scrolling down and you get to a post that just calls the fucking whole thing. Just like, yep, that's nailed it. Shit, that motherfucker online just knows what's going on. No one knows that he knows what's going on, but he is pretty convinced. His theory's pretty watertight, and shit, that was our plan. So now back to the drawing board. Got to change this, and it seems like there was a lot of retconning and moving stuff around.
It's inconsistencies are immense. Just from characters alone, you'll have someone who is friends with someone. Then he saves his wife in one episode, and then the next episode they're having a fist fight, and the guy whose wife has been saved is pulling a gun on the guy who saved his wife in the last episode. It's like it's an ongoing story, but they can't remember what the fuck happened last week.
Well, they're still slaves, aren't they, to the fact that like each week needs to be exciting, and fundamentally they're stuck on an island. Also, the other problem of like how do you film something of people stuck on an island for what is essentially 6 years and not have them not look like they've been stuck on a fucking island for 6 years, And that goes from everything from Hurley, the fucking massive dude, to the young kid. But I mean, the young kid walked, they just ripped him out for a load of time, didn't they?
Yeah.
So that kind of, that's where time travel has to come into it. So like, that makes it easy. But yeah, just the sheer logistics of it were nuts. But it still goes down as one of the best plane crashes on TV. Not that those are necessarily the greatest TV, but it's fairly epic sort of effects in that. Yeah, and they destroyed Hawaii in the process. I think it was basically, I think Hawaii was just like, can you just get these fucking people off our island, please? Because they are destroying the place. Can they famously fucking destroy a whole load of area and trees and shit? And I mean, just the plane on the fucking beach was. Yeah, like, we don't want to. They can't put that shit here. Can't just come along and put a broken plane on a beach. People are bathing.
But yeah, they did.
They did, yeah. And it was good TV. So yeah, Lost. Joe. Lost.
Shit.
It's not shit. That's harsh, man. But it's a long slog. It's a big commitment to get into. If you wanted to.
I also watched 10 minutes of Howard the Duck.
Yeah, I saw you tweet this. I haven't seen Howard the Duck since it came out.
Yeah, like 20 years.
Yeah, and back then I had no idea there was a Marvel property.
No, neither did I.
And I don't think I liked it.
I think it's weird when you're a kid. You kind of watch junk anyway.
Yeah, but I don't remember much about it. It wasn't that kid friendly, was it?
No, when I put it on, because I was like, "Hey, Howard the Duck, Ella's gonna love this." Yeah, and it's like a T&A movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 12 rated, but yet there's tits and ass constantly.
Yeah. It's like what I imagine Roger Rabbit to be like now, post the movie. Yeah, like in a sort of like he's almost like Ted now. If Roger Rabbit was still about, he's kind of a bit of a screw up. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. But the crazy thing is that I didn't realise the lead chick in it is Marty McFly's mum.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I don't know what her name is, the actress's name.
Is it Ella Thompson?
I have no idea.
Maybe.
It's not, maybe
Thompson,
Ella.
Thompson sounds like the right surname.
Yeah.
I can't remember her first name.
She was in that, she had the show that was on around the same time as Spin City, or whatever it was. Caroline in the City, I believe it was called. I always thought she was smoking hot.
Yeah, when I was young.
Yeah, and she's one of those women, defies time. She defies time.
Well, she still looks the same.
She's in Back to the Future, because you see her in so many different ages and guises. You know,
you don't know how
you
don't know how old she is.
Yeah. So when Caroline in the City was on, and then that was 10 years ago, and she looked exactly the same. It was just like, what? And the truth is, in Back to the Future 1, she was like, I don't know, 15 or something.
Yeah, probably.
I want to know what her name is. It's something Thompson. I think it mainly begins with an L.
We can try and find out at the break if you want.
Yeah.
If we remember by
yeah.
that. That's like
we always say that. It never happens.
45 minutes.
But yeah, anyway, I always thought she was pretty hot.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's in Howard the Duck. Yeah, Howard the Duck's not. It's not right at all.
No,
it's not right at all. And I never liked the way the duck looked. I never liked.
No,
the way
he's quite freaky.
Yeah.
As I said, I watched about 10 minutes and switched it off.
Yeah.
A, because it was inappropriate for Ella to watch, and B, because it is dreadful.
Well, we were talking today actually, and I'm going to do a shout out for it because I decided to listen to a new podcast this week called How Did This Get Made?
Sure.
Which is an awesome podcast about where three guys or three people get together and discuss bad movies and just like how the fuck did this happen, right? They all watch and then just discuss the shit out of it. And you always notice bits that you didn't realise on, but just make fucking no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, sure.
And they've done, all the classics like fucking Batman and Robin and Mario Brothers was the one that I was listening to. And I was thinking about Mario Brothers again, and it's just that movie's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense.
I love it. I have a personal sort of like I do love it because I did see it at the cinema and it was enough. By the time the bob-ombs come along, you're like, yay, it's Mario Brothers. But that movie is fucking nuts. So everyone should go and
find somewhere to watch
podcast.
it somehow.
And watch one. Well, the interesting thing about Mario Brothers, it's on YouTube. The whole movie's on YouTube.
So there you go. Watch it on YouTube and then listen to the podcast.
It's not even It's not even in bits. It's just on
one,
YouTube.
Really,
yeah, and nobody is taking that down.
Because nobody cares.
That's the interesting part there,
you might have thought Nintendo would lobby to destroy every copy of it everywhere. Like, you got to appreciate that Nintendo won't let the Mario Brothers be in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah,
which looks fucking awesome. This film looks fantastic. They're so precious about the Mario Brothers, but yet this film with Bob Hoskins exists and is out there for you to watch.
Well, and even Bob Hoskins said, didn't he? I always forget about this. It was in a Guardian interview last year or the year before. He said, it was asked like a few questions of what's the worst thing you did in your career? What do you have any regrets about, and what would you have liked to have not done?
He said
and his answer to all of them was just Mario Brothers. Worst fucking thing ever. He fucking hated it. But then listening to this podcast, as we were listening to it earlier, he didn't know he was in a video game movie until halfway through shooting the movie.
Yeah.
Just had no idea. Absolutely no idea.
At the same time, it's kind of like all of Hollywood's like that. Bryan Singer had never read a single issue of X-Men before directing the film. It was never going to turn out well.
But it's so that's nuts. Everyone should watch Super Mario Bros. There's something else that I've done this week, and I can't remember what it is that I wanted to mention.
Kicked a nun.
And I haven't kicked a nun. No, that seems wrong.
You should try it.
Wrong.
You don't know until you try.
I've not got the most accurate moral compass, but I'm pretty sure that when it points in the direction of kicking a nun, that's a no-no. That's a fable bad choice. That's a horn from your head choice.
Well, then why don't we talk about video games?
We could talk about some games.
That's what we came here for, wasn't it?
Yeah, true. Yeah. A good 32 minutes ago. Has anyone played any games then? What games have we played this week? What have you played, Joe? Tell me what you've played. I want to know.
Okay, I've gone back and been playing some more XCOM.
XCOM? Yeah. I still haven't picked it up. I'm still excited about it. You've changed your mind on it, Shaun.
No, I think my mind was always kind of on the negative side of, do I like this game?
Wow, that's crazy.
The game's amazing, it's just your mind can't comprehend it, so you fail every turn.
That could be right.
It's not. That's not the reason.
I mean, everything I hear about it is great. And minor niggles aside, there are niggles.
Oh yeah, there are.
Those damn pesky niggles. But yeah, to me it seems great. I want to love it. I still haven't tried it at all. I've not even tried the demo.
Right.
Just like total meltdown. So where are you at now? Where are you with XCOM?
I am literally at the final section of the game. I'm pretty sure it is.
Interesting point, because you tweeted this.
Yes.
Some time ago.
It was a couple of days ago.
Yeah, so you're still on the final mission.
I haven't gone back yet.
All right. You're not sitting there.
It's my plan. It's my plan after this is to go back and try and finish it.
Okay.
So I'm on the mothership. I've worked my way to the last room. I failed in that last room. I have got a save just before that last room, and I've got no clue how I'm going to do that.
So this is quite interesting because last week, I think it was after the show, you said to me the way you're playing XCOM is that you'll save regularly during missions.
Yeah, every time you get in a fight, you save afterwards.
But I was talking to a friend over, he was playing XCOM and I was playing XCOM, and I was talking to him over Xbox Live, and he was saying that he watched a kind of video doc on the developers, and they were like, yeah, we don't want people to do that. That's not how you're supposed to be playing this game.
Well, it's interesting because it does automatically save as well, doesn't it? But it saves at the wrong point.
Yeah, sure.
It saves after you've fucked it all up.
After one of your troops, your best troop has just been shot in the face.
I think it forces it. I think it does. I think after a death, actually, it definitely does save.
Yeah.
And you're like, cheers, man.
Yeah, it does,
thanks a lot. So it really doesn't want you to fuck around.
It doesn't.
With
Yeah, it doesn't. But it gives you the option to do it.
But
You just
that
press
is how I would.
start
I mean,
and
that's
save.
the PC way, isn't it? Right? That's that you hit an F5 essentially.
It's like that game. I did do loads of missions without saving all the way through. But after a while, it's like this game. It's like when it's throwing 2 giant fucking mechs at you, you have to save before you encounter them because they'll demolish your entire team in a single move.
So have you seen cool shit then? I mean, presumably, you've seen a lot more than you did in your playthrough. Does it evolve? It's certainly enemy-wise into some crazy stuff. You just mentioned mechs. I didn't know they were in there.
Yeah, there's like giant mechs, and they have like 30 HP each. But when it turns
Princes.
No, 30 health each, and when it's an alien turn, they have 2 moves, and they can fire a beam that does 10 points of damage. They can do that twice in a row.
Yeah,
so if you don't kill them instantly as soon as they appear, they fuck you over for an entire turn.
But do you get the equivalent? How badass do you get? Why haven't you got a mech?
You can get a thing called a shiv.
Yeah,
right.
It's where I was with
fights.
shiv. Where I was with my shiv, it wasn't great.
Oh man, shivs are awesome.
What's a shiv?
It's just
a weapons platform is what they refer to it as. So it's like it's like a little robot with a big gun on it.
All right. So what, kind of like the little dudes that followed you around in Fantasy Star?
No, it's initially it's on tracks.
Okay, all right.
You can upgrade it so it hovers. You can make it mobile cover so it doesn't have a gun, but you can just hide your guys behind it. You can do a lot with it, but I've never used it. I've just always gone out with my badass crew guys with massive armor and plasma rifles and jetpacks, and pretty awesome. Psychic abilities are actually really useful once you get hold of it.
I've never known a situation where psychic abilities wouldn't be really useful. Seems unlikely.
I did manage to get 2 of my troops psychic. Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do you do with psychic abilities?
There's the way the game works is so that when you level up a character, you'll have an initial ability, and then for each level, it will have 2 abilities, and you pick between one or the other.
Right.
And the psychic ability it starts off with is Mind Fray, and it literally just does some psychic damage. And then from there, you can choose between like mind control and something else.
Okay.
There's only 5 psychic abilities
total.
So
I've never found psychic abilities like are cool, and they're kinetic. That's always good, right? Force pushes and like in psyops and stuff like that. That's cool. But psychic abilities have just like influenced people. I've never found fun in games. You could do it in Force Unleashed. Can you? Was it Force Unleashed 2? Where you could just go, think about how your mother didn't love you, and then the stormtrooper would go, my mother didn't love me, and jump off a cliff.
Yeah. In this, mind control is very useful. So you take complete control over the enemy for 4 turns, and you can use them as one of your own troops.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So if you take someone over who's behind all the other enemies, you can start shooting them. Or the best thing is you take over the like badass character, and everyone starts shooting at it to try and kill it before you can use it. So you can just it is very useful.
Have you done any multiplayer?
I haven't, no.
Are you? Or
No,
are you just going to
not.
do, once you've done it, that's it, you're done?
Yeah. Once I finish the story, I don't think I'll play it again.
That's interesting.
It seems like
sounds like it'd be quite cool. We used to play, Battlegrounds?
Yeah.
All the time. And I kind of love an RTS in multiplayer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind playing it against like one of you guys, but I just don't want to play it against some random person I don't know.
It might be super good.
Yeah.
That's what you can say.
Yeah, I suppose that is true. Yeah, you're always going to get into that niche sort of StarCraft area.
Where these people are playing a lot of tactical.
Yeah, like I don't know if the guy I'm playing is being paid $10,000 to do this. If he's got his own T-shirt with his name on it or something.
So the other thing my friend was telling me over Xbox Live is that there's randomizers. So when you're targeting an enemy and it kind of says 79% hit chance,
right?
It's not actually 79%.
No, it's not. Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
So you'd think, right, 79%, that's 7.9% times out of 10 I'm going to hit that enemy.
Right.
Where it's more like 3.1% times, because it's adding randomizers to your gun, whether whether you're behind cover, whether they're behind cover, so
right,
on and so forth.
okay. Yeah,
so that 79% isn't accurate.
That's just the maximum that you could get.
Yes.
But not guarantee what you're going to get.
And so it gets really... I just got too frustrated.
Once you get later on, and just like, my sniper was fucking amazing. He had like over 60 alien kills. Every shot was like a guaranteed headshot kill with most enemy types.
Sure. But you've got to get to that point. It's a lot of...
How long's it been? How long's it taken now? How many hours you put into the game?
I don't know. I want to say at least 15.
It's a lot longer than I was expecting.
Yeah,
and the way the achievements are set up, they're kind of like, this is a game you buy and you keep. And you come back to sporadically.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's like that board game you get down off the shelf, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that's interesting. Does anyone know, just on the multiplayer idea, have you done any co-op, Joe? You normally do co-op and all this stuff.
I didn't realise there was co-op.
I don't know if there is.
It does. I think the multiplayer is co-op on it. I don't know if it's versus. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not
maybe that's true because you'd need an alien side and you have to play as all the aliens. Really,
yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I was curious. What I was going to ask was how many players it did support, but I don't actually know.
No.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I'm sure it says on the back of the box, but we don't have it here.
No, true. Oh, actually, I must say, whilst on the subject of XCOM, Joe.
Yes.
Joe. Devastating, terrible things happened last episode. I asked on the episode before last, when you spoke about the crazy XCOM controller. This is nuts. This actually is kind of amazing. You went to Eurogamer.
Yep.
You came back. You saw the XCOM booth. You came back. You rushed over to us. Tears in your eyes, just going, I've seen this amazing XCOM controller. I've seen it. I know it. It's amazing. It's got 2 sticks. It's black. It's got big buttons. It looks like an arcade machine. It's amazing. It's amazing. And you were lying. I looked for it for a week online. No one had any mention of it. No one, Joe. The next episode, I put out a bit of a call saying, "Yo, tell us. If anyone has any information, send us this information. I need to see this controller that you've fabricated in your mind." And no one did. So, it was like I officially came to the conclusion you're a fucking liar. Amazingly, though, as I was uploading last week's episode, the day I was uploading it, and interestingly, actually, it was a day late because we recorded slightly later than normal. Ricky Shorter, long-time listener, emailed in a picture of this controller that he had built with his own hands based on the description you had given when delivering your lie 2 weeks ago. He made it a bit fake, claimed it was at the Play Expo or something stupid like that. But yeah, basically just given your instructions, he managed to build a very convincing looking controller. So it does sort of exist.
Yeah, and I'd like to say thank you because I'm not insane now.
Yeah, no. In all fairness, this controller does exist, and Ricky sent in a picture from the Play Expo, so I presume it was at Eurogamer as well. Yeah. Still no concrete proof of the Eurogamer thing, I must add. But it looked nuts. You're right, it looked nuts. It did look like an arcade machine, and it was weird. Had like even square arcade buttons, the kind of real cool old ones, and had circular buttons, and 2 sticks. Yeah. Absolutely unnecessary.
It was. I don't even get why they had that controller.
No, it's not. It was like a tabletop thing, wasn't it? Yeah. That's what I didn't realise. It was almost like the whole thing was a unit itself. The screen was kind of in it, and it was kind of it was kind of cool. I would love one of those.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
It's basically an Xbox dedicated to XCOM.
But you could just use it on anything then.
Yeah. You have to get to the damn thing. You have to get your keys out every time you want to change the game.
Yeah, but it was quite cool. So I apologise, Joe, for giving you so much shit. But I think we've all learned something here. And that is, I don't trust you.
That's right, not many people do.
And also, when covering an event for the media outlet that we are, you won't take photos of the things that are the most important.
I will take more photos.
Yeah, I like to think that now you go through your life and anytime you see anything, you can take a photo of it just in case you need to prove it at a later date.
Yep. Anything that's...
How many millions of pixels is the camera on your phone?
8.
That's good enough to be taking photographs.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know, Get on it. Yeah. Get on it.
All right. So that's pretty cool. We've just run into the 43-minute mark here. Should we take a quick break? I know we've not done a lot of gaming chat, but we've got loads to get to after the break. So let's have a quick break now. I don't know what the piece of music's going to be for this.
Yes, you do.
Well, I do know what it's from. I just don't know what it's called.
Title. Okay.
In fact, maybe we can have a brief chat about that now. Anyway, Bioshock Infinite. Right, we're going to use the music from the latest trailer of Bioshock Infinite because the music's actually pretty darn cool.
Yep.
But the trailer itself, I was pretty impressed by that. It came out of nowhere. I kind of forgot about Bioshock Infinite, apart from the fact that it's not coming out.
Alright. Well, you was pretty down on the original Bioshock.
Yeah, I hated it.
Right.
Hate it.
So
it's all sort of like old timey, like, oh no, those dolly eyes.
Well,
It's just like,
I mean, this
what-
game is being done by the core team. It's being
yeah,
done
it's
by
irrational.
the team that
Yeah,
did
yeah.
the
Not,
first one.
yeah, Bioshock 2 is an anomaly. That was
it's
you know,
fucking
Yeah, I
horrible.
think
So-
after Bioshock 2, they really need to pull it out.
Well, it's so this is irrational again. Who did Bioshock 1, right? This is as far as they're concerned, you know, a kind of true follow up, I guess.
Sure.
It's not connected,
No.
but it's you know it's their you know true sort of successor in the series.
Are you going to be down on this game if people are carrying wine in their pockets?
Yeah, that was my big issue, man. Bioshock 1, people with glasses of wine and cream cakes.
Cream cakes,
In their pockets. And not only that, like that's weird enough anyway, because how do you keep a glass of wine in your pocket? But also, you as a character just drank them. And like wine anyway, I wouldn't drink as like a health option.
No.
And especially if I'm stranded on a weird underground crazy world.
And going around shooting stuff. I mean, drinking shitloads of wine, that's not going to help you aim.
Can you imagine the situation though? You just kind of wonder, like you're sitting there in a room, you've got a glass of red wine in one hand, and a cream eclair in the other, and you're half bitten it, and someone comes in with like a fucking sickle running at you, and you're like,
And as it is,
That's
you've got
not
to switch
good.
between your gun and your electric ability.
That's enough to make anyone crazy. Never at any point in an action movie or a horror movie does anyone ever eat a cream cake.
I want to see Arnie in his next film, that one where he's the sheriff. I want to see him at some point kill a bad guy, rummage through his pockets, pull out a glass of wine and a cream cake, and then bullets just like pop out of his chest where he's been shot because it heals him.
It is nuts. So yeah, I wasn't keen on that. But Bioshock Infinite anyway, yeah, looks really good. Obviously, it's been massively troubled. The initial stuff they've shown was very
Open world.
very sort of open worldy, yeah, with these rails that you travel around the I don't know, old worldy steampunk city in the sky type thing. And they came forward and went, actually, it's not really working. We can't do it. And so Bioshock Infinite just went dark for ages. Remember, they didn't show up at a load of expos and E3 and stuff because they're like, well, we don't need to show it because you fucking love this, right? But it just vanished. So the new trailer came out and got me pumped. It looks beautiful.
It does, yeah.
Interesting thing about this trailer was, and they make a big point of it all being from in-game footage, it does just look like it almost looks like Call of Duty in terms of its spectacle and scripted events that are going off around you. Sure. It looked pretty linear.
Yeah.
You know? I'm still interested in this game. The hook for me with everything, they dropped the T-bomb, didn't they? They dropped the freaking T-bomb again. And they go back in time. You go back to the 80s.
Yeah.
And that's... Why is it that if you put the 80s in a video game, it's kind of fucking awesome no matter what happens?
Because the 80s seem to be pretty fucking awesome no matter what happens.
Yeah, well, newsflash for you, Joe. Newsflash. Yeah, the 80s were not awesome at
But
all.
it's the way it seems to come across in anything.
It was bad music, bad clothes, bad hair.
Yeah.
I'm sure
bad
to live
times.
in the 80s was a bad thing, but the way it comes across in all mediums seems to be awesome.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Double Dragon Neon,
Yeah.
freaking awesome. The 80s were not like that.
No.
Max Headroom.
Two good things in the 80s were big budget movies and cartoons. That was it. That was all that was good about the 80s.
Yeah. The rest of the 80s was Wham.
Yeah.
So,
Just Wham.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Bioshock has that cool sort of time mechanic in it, which looks cool. I just don't know much about the game. It's one of those games that even if you wanted to know loads about it, you couldn't find it out. Anyway.
Sure.
But it's coming really soon. It's
February.
That's just a few months away. So it'd be interesting to see what that is like. They've no multiplayer now. They pulled the multiplayer out. That was one of the changes they made.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Interesting. But besides the point, there's a new trailer. Everyone should go and check it out if you're interested. This is the music from the trailer, which is, it's fairly cool.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the other side. Okay, we're back. That was Bioshock Infinite. We didn't get to see it. We just got to hear it. We didn't even get to hear it, actually. It's always kind of weird when we come back from these audio breaks and we don't get to hear
We're like, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Awesome, pumped up.
It's pretty cool, though. It's kind of standard for the trailers these days, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a lot of licensed music going into trailers. That's like extra spend that's kind of happening. And that is pricey. I remember when we were doing Just Cause 2 and we had... what was the track we had in the main trailer for it? It was some crazy dancey dudes... I don't even remember, but it was awesome. But it cost a fucking shit ton of money to get it done. Because I remember I was really campaigning for Back in Black. Right? Because it was mainly because of Iron Man, right? It had been an Iron Man at the beginning and everyone went mental for Back in Black and AC/DC and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, Just Cause 2, it's Rico, he's back, he wears black, it's perfect. And they were like, it's going to cost way too much money, so we didn't do that. So yeah, it's kind of nice. I kind of like to see games treated more like movies.
Yeah,
than trailers.
I'm just surprised at the lack of dubstep recently. You know, it's nice to see him. Yeah, it's nice to see him disappearing away from dubstep.
He'll
be back.
There'll be some game that comes out in 3 months' time full of dubstep references. They're all a bit too late.
Yeah,
you know, like Borderlands 2 was close. By the time Borderlands 2 came out and all the like claptrap stuff in it. It's like, yeah, you are close to the line of where that is acceptable now, you know? But
obviously at the time of development, it's relevant.
Yeah, exactly. And the trailer that they put out, the Wob Wob trailer, was fantastic.
Yeah.
Nailed it right on the head. Perfect timing. But then, like,
you need to be aware that when your game comes out, it may not necessarily be flavoured.
There is a lifespan on these kinds of things. So, all right, well, let's chat into more games then, and one that shockingly you've been playing, Shaun, which goes against every fibre of your body, really.
Pretty much.
I remember when you texted me and you were like, I've just picked up 007 Legends, and I was like, it's Call of Duty, what are you doing? And you're like, oh.
There's fuck all else to rent.
so 007 Legends then, and we should set this up, it's an Activision Bond game. It's following on the footsteps of GoldenEye, the remake of GoldenEye.
Pretty much.
It's Eurocom made, and Eurocom make all the Bond games. They made some genuinely good ones. This is just wrong Bond. You know, this is GoldenEye. As much as I loved GoldenEye, it's a brilliant game. It's a huge game. Everyone genuinely thinks GoldenEye was a good game on the N64, right? And but it's damaged the Bond games forever, irreparably, because it's made Bond games first-person shooters
rather than industrial espionage.
When does Bond ever spend all of his time running around with an AK-47? Never. That's not what Bond does. He is not Triple X.
Though isn't he on the cover of like Casino Royale?
Standing in front of Aston Martin.
He's got a
you're right. Yeah. But generally that is not Bond, right?
No.
And these games, and especially the remake GoldenEye and 007 Legends, that's what it is. It's Call of Duty in a suit.
Yeah.
Right. But this goes even weirder than this, doesn't it? Because this is like six? I think it's six classic Bond missions, scenarios, or whatever. Re-updated with Daniel Craig as Bond.
Yeah.
First wrong move. Congratulations, cock that up. All new tech and gadgets, so there's iPhones and various other things there. Second wrong move. And then just a weird selection of movies. The movies aren't necessarily terrible.
No.
But you're only ever going to look at it and go, well, the movie I wanted's not in there. And some other stuff is. But it takes a good cross-section of like a load of different Bonds.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of from mid-80s, though. In Her Majesty's Secret Service, isn't that like a really early one?
Yeah.
Well, it's after Moore, ain't it? It's George Lazenby.
Right.
Is that so? And that's in there? Yeah, that's the snow one, right? Loads of snow stuff, Lazenby.
Takes place in that weird sort of
yeah. So, but there's a bit of everything. There's a Brosnan movie. There's a Roger Moore movie. There's a Sean Connery movie. It just goes across everything. And I believe it's DLC. There's Skyfall.
Yeah.
Because that's the other weird part, right? No Skyfall game.
Yeah, which is very strange that it doesn't have its own standalone.
I'm guessing that's just because the Bond license. I guess it's quite difficult to make a game whilst they're making a film.
Yeah.
And syncing up when you're going to come out, because you usually don't want to ruin the film, you don't want to ruin the game, stuff like that. But also, Skyfall, although now looks pretty good, the Bond license just fell through, didn't it? In the last few years, yes, it had that resurgence with Daniel Craig and Casino Royale, and then Quantum of Solace came out and still did, I think, pretty well, but then MGM went kind of bust, and everything just fell through, and Bond just dropped off the radar completely. So I'm guessing Activision just thought, well, actually, who the fuck gives a shit about Skyfall?
Yeah.
I still don't think of it as a Bond movie when I think of the name, So this is classic stuff, and it's like Man with a Golden Gun, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Is it World Is Not Enough? Is the Brosnan one?
I think it's in there.
Moonraker, is that in there?
Yeah, Moonraker's in there.
Moonraker.
Yeah, it's a real sort of tour de force of greatest hits of Bond in a game.
Basically, the way they set it up is that at the beginning of the game, you're on a train fighting a dude, and the chick from Teachers has got a sniper rifle. I don't know if she's there to kill you or to kill the other guy. She takes a shot. Bond gets hit, falls into the water off the train, and then his life is basically flashing before his eyes.
Which I don't know how I feel about that. On one hand, I kind of love its laziness. You know? But on the other hand, it's just mental, right? That's just cheesy as fuck.
That entire scene is the beginning of Skyfall.
Right. Okay.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's the premise. Have you watched the trailers for Skyfall?
I have, yes.
Yeah, so in Skyfall, he comes back from the dead, and that's what happens at the beginning. That's how he dies in Skyfall.
Okay. All right. He dies in Skyfall.
Well, he doesn't
die.
Oh,
he comes back, doesn't he? He does that whole Dark Knight Returns thing, yeah? He's like, I'm back, I got a beard.
Yeah.
I found a beard. Now, fuck your rules. Fucking James Bond with a beard. Drops the mic, walks out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it happens, because that scene is in the trailers where he gets shot on the train.
Yeah, so that's how it starts, and then, it's literally just a flashback, you know? It could only be better if it had a narration over the top, yeah?
Right.
Morgan Freeman narrating about Bond's experience.
Stephen Fry.
You know?
It'd be Stephen Fry, because it's English, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And that's our only narrator.
Yeah.
It's the only one we've got. We'll use him.
And then he just jumps. It just literally quantum leaps through the different movies, right? And they span. Well, this is an interesting part, because I initially thought it was just kind of one movie per level, and it's not.
It's not. It's
there's
kind
several
of
levels,
3 or 4 levels.
Chapters, I suppose, for each movie.
For each movie.
I mean, I don't know what there is to say about it. I've seen it. It looks exactly like Call of Duty. What?
Yeah, well, I've not played that many Call of Duties.
No,
I've only literally dipped my toe into that water. It's kind of bog standard first-person shooter. It chucks a couple of puzzles at you, which aren't very imaginative or tricky.
Any gadget use?
Yeah, your iPhone that you've got in 1984.
It's not, but is it 1984 in it?
No, it's not.
No, it's not. They are set now.
His Aston Martin is like the most up-to-date one when you come out of Goldfinger.
So what does his iPhone do? What does his iPhone do? Can he get Google Maps on it?
No.
Can he tweet?
No. But he can
hacks cameras.
It has like Wi-Fi hack on it.
Right.
It has a digital camera for evidence collecting, but you can't use it. I don't know. Okay. It doesn't tell you. It doesn't matter. And it also does like fingerprint tracing, but also it's kind of like I don't know what the word would be, mineral tracking or something.
It's basically that phone you've seen in 1,000 video games before. That's awesome. That everyone has. Sam Fisher's got one. Yeah. Dude in Condemned had one. Yeah. You know, they're great phones. They are great phones.
They're not a general release, but
exactly. It's a bit. The gadget thing's actually kind of interesting, because you think, like, if you're tackling like one of the classic Bond scenarios from like 1967, and he can have gadgets from The World Is Not Enough, then the missions will be a lot easier. That would just basically be it. He'd be like, don't bother, Q. I'll tell you what I want. I'll have the invisible car, the jetpack, the laser watch, and that's kind of it.
You do have the laser watch.
I should be fine. He always has a laser watch.
He's got a laser watch
for quite a while. Always had the laser watch.
That was a Roger Moore movie where he's chained up somewhere, Costa del Sol, and he uses the laser watch to get out. But the laser watch you use to like interfere with electronical equipment. So
electronical equipment
from Radio Shack.
Yeah.
You point it at kind of tannoy speakers and stuff. Shoot it with your laser, and it distracts guards. Okay. Kind of Mark and Ninja style.
And he did. And you used the laser watch actually in GoldenEye.
Yeah.
You get off the train, don't you? Get off the.
It also has the Trank Dart pen, though I've not unlocked that.
Okay.
Yet.
That's fine. Has the pen been updated?
No, it looks still like a Parker fountain.
Okay. That's kind of weird. That is kind of weird, because that's the other thing with the new future tech in it. One of the ways that they could have done the jumping through is time travel, man. Why not?
Drop the T-bomb.
How would that not make it better? So I got to go back in time and save people, and then you could meet other Bonds.
Man, you mix James Bond with Time Splitters Future Perfect.
Yeah,
there you go.
It works.
Vin Diesel is Bond. That's what we've been waiting for.
Done. It looks alright.
It's standard stuff. Kind of Harrier jets falling out of the sky, and big explosions going off around
any cool set pieces? Because I mean,
the set pieces are thick and fast, but none of them look particularly great.
Any driving sequences?
Not so far.
Okay.
You had the bit where you're in the car with the Northern Korean guy, and he's got the gun pointed at you, and you're driving along. He's like, put on your seatbelt, and he's like, "Don't worry about me, Mr. Bond. You should worry about yourself." And he's like, "Yeah, sure." Presses the button and ejects him as you're driving along. It also has the bit where you are chained to the table, and the laser's coming up between his legs.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Do you expect me to talk?" "No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die."
Then why not?
But it doesn't. It just doesn't have the same ring with Craig David.
Well,
doing it.
also the thing I don't like about Daniel Craig as well, and this is less of a problem with the game, although it does fall into that, and more of a problem with him in real life, is he's a man that looks like a video game representation of a man.
Yeah, sure.
Do you know what I mean? He's got one of those proper rubber Unreal Engine faces in real life anyway. And I just don't like the look of him. He's not smooth enough or sexy enough to be Bond at all.
He's a bit more falls on the badass side of Bond, where he's. And again, this has the same thing as the last Bond game, where you can literally just run up to people and lamp them.
Oh, right, really?
A lot of the time, it makes more sense not to shoot anyone, just to sprint into people and press the right analog stick.
Yeah, sure.
Because he just like.
But I would at least accept that as being more Bond-like. Do you know what I mean? Like that's more Bond-like than just running through a room with a fucking AK-47 commando rolling all over the place and recharging health.
Where I just died. Well, you just kind of find cover and it recharges. You don't get health back. It does have different modes. It has kind of classic mode where you get bulletproof vests and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, there's moments where I died 4 times in one room, and I found the solution is to just lamp everyone. Works a lot.
It's kind of worth trying that technique out in any game. First of all, it's how I played Deus Ex all the way through.
And strangely enough, it does have the weird Spider-Man Shattered Dimension kind of first-person boxing bits in it. And it tends to be when you're fighting henchmen as well. So I had it with Oddjob, where you kind of got to duck out of the way using the left and right triggers to when he throws his hat, or when he picks up a big piece of wood, and you kind of got to either dodge or counter. And then all the fighting's done Fight Night style. So it comes up, it's like QTE basically, where he's blocking in 2 places, and it'll come up with press right analog stick up here. And he punches you in the face and stuff, which is quite interesting. But it does kind of echo back to Spider-Man, which was also Activision. So
I'm guessing a bunch of multiplayer options in this as well.
Yeah, I did a little bit of multiplayer. It's kind of just standard stuff.
Yeah, it's one of those games. It's never going to stand out.
There's kind of 20,000 people probably playing it now, and in a week there'll be no one.
Yeah, totally. All right, well, I'll give it a go. But I am not holding my breath. It's kind of nice. There's kind of something that's kind of is a bit awesome. I mean, Quantum of Solace, the last Bond game.
Bloodstone.
Was it Bloodstone?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Bloodstone was kind of alright. It kind of
lifted
a lot of ideas
those,
from
features from Splinter Cell.
Had some really cool movie moments. The bit where the JCB drives over you and you're driving the car underneath, and stuff like that. But again, that game was weird because all the driving bits sucked and they were made by Bizarre Creations. Yeah. Made no sense whatsoever. But it illustrates, and I'm sure it's the case with this one as well, is it's just kind of awesome to hear the Bond theme while you're doing something in a game.
Yeah.
That's a real pumping thing.
It does have all of the music from all of the bits, so as you're kind of going along, it does kick in.
Does it have any intros? Does it have any cool sort of like women dancing out of gun barrels and stuff?
It does have an amalgamation of intros. I think it's all kind of just blended into one general sort of Bondy intro.
Yeah.
And if you just kind of let the screen stay on the start menu, it has all of the henchmen.
And they're quite a good bunch of henchmen. They're kind of that's what I think. That's probably how they decided that. You've got Diamond Face Dude, and you've got Oddjob, and you've got Jaws. Who's the dude from the Man with Golden Gun? I don't know who he is.
I don't know. Blofeld's in there.
Yeah.
I think the villains lineup was probably.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I wonder if they'll do any more or how
Scaramanga.
Yeah, exactly. See, smooth operator.
Yeah.
But I'll be curious to see how they go with it because obviously they've announced Skyfall as DLC.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's free or paid for. I would imagine it's paid for.
But I would have thought so.
But I'll be curious as if they do a 007 Legends 2 with there's plenty of other movies left.
Sure.
Or if they do just pump out a bunch of DLC. They're not going to do all the DLC. There's still like 14 or 15 movies left to do. But
if you buy that DVD box set, it's a big one.
Yeah.
It takes up half a shelf at least.
Nice touch, by the way. Nice touch with the latest Bond DVD set or Blu-ray set or whatever you can buy. Extra space for the latest movie.
Oh, really?
That's kind of nice.
They have started doing really small, compact ones now as well. Tiny little.
Well, because it used to be in the day, didn't it? But these things were the size of a table.
Yeah,
you'd get the whole Friends collection on video or something.
Yeah, I was collecting James Bond at one point on VHS, and I had like 10. It just used to take up so much space. It was ridiculous.
All right, no, that's pretty cool. Another game has come out then, another first-person shooter. We mentioned it at the top of the show, but you've played it, Joe.
I have.
It's Doom 3, the Roald Dahl edition.
Roald Dahl.
Yeah, BFG Edition.
Yep.
This, like I said a bit earlier, it kind of blows my mind because it's like, wow, Doom. Doom anyway. If it's mentioned, it's kind of just weird to hear again. It's like when Pac-Man CE came out. Yeah. So Doom, it's back. It's largely untouched. I think they've updated the engine. I think it may be
it's
on
got
the
a
Rage
graphics,
engine now. I think it may be on the Rage engine that's running on. It does mean that certain things have changed in it because the original Doom 3 came out on Xbox.
Yeah.
And a lot of people disliked it. It was a weird time for Doom to come out because it was post Half-Life.
Yeah.
And FPSs had changed.
Sure.
Half-Life changed FPSs, right? Doom is from the old school monster closets, just endless enemies appearing out of anywhere and just constantly taking them down, yeah? And Half-Life changed that. It gave you this narrative and this really directed experience that Doom doesn't have. What were you going to say, Joe?
I was going to say Doom 3 was really hard to get along with as well with its flashlight.
Yeah, that's the thing. The flashlight and gun scenario of like, it's fucking dark in Doom 3 and I hate games that are dark and that's what I kind of hate about it. But it looked good, even on the Xbox, it looked very nice. You just never saw very much. No. You're only seeing, a circle of the screen, a small circle of the screen at any point.
And some dog
and the rest
meat
of it's some
thing
darkness. So it should look good, right? And the thing that got people, and I think it's been changed actually for this, is you couldn't fire your gun and use a torch at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you wanted to shoot the enemy, you have to put your flashlight away, fire roughly where it was, and then use your gun blast to try and locate it again.
Exactly. And that was cool. And it was a deliberate thing. It was also a technical thing, but it was a deliberate choice. And that's the thing that divides people. Some people thought that was genius because it's a cool horror mechanic of you just seeing the flashes of a shotgun going off and lighting up enemies and stuff like that. But also just frustrating as fuck.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think in this game you can use both at the same time.
You can turn your flashlight on and off, but you can just have it on constantly.
So interestingly then, what I was getting at with regards to the engine being changed is actually the real-time shadows that the torch used to shine in the Xbox version aren't there.
Right.
And they were really cool. And it's kind of like, well, we've got more power going into this.
And
I kind of want
less effect.
Yeah, and so it kind of looks a little bit weird. But it's Doom 3. It's Doom 3's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Doom's weird anyway, right? It's like hell in space.
Yeah, it's a crazy plot.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can call it a plot.
That is
more
true.
mechanic.
This package though is quite a big deal.
Yeah, I was surprised what it came with, the BFG Edition. So when I started up, on your initial screen, it has Doom 1, Doom 2 and Doom 3.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool. I think Doom's not available on XBLA anymore.
Oh, really?
They removed it now.
Yeah, I think it got removed. Yeah, I think maybe when it was bought. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's interesting. So Doom 1 and 2, that's quite cool because they're both great games.
Yeah,
they are great games. It's also it's Doom 3. It's got the Resurrection of Evil DLC pack which came out for Doom 3 back in the day, and then a new mission on top of that.
I do believe it's just called the Lost Mission.
Right,
it's
classic titling. And absolutely classic titling. Like how many times have you seen Lost Levels, Lost Missions, and Lost something?
It's your Space Marine on the Lost Island fighting the monster.
Exactly. How is it? How are you getting on with it? This is a very old school game.
It is, yeah. It's like I forgot how weird the controls are on one of the old ones. So it's like Quake in a way. It's like really fast the way it moves.
Right, yeah.
It was like it took me by surprise when I first started playing it. After a while, you get used to it, and it's like your look sensitivity is really far down, and the speed it moves at is quite crazy. Forgot how quickly Doom 3 moved when I originally played it on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Graphically, it's very shiny. You can tell that it's just been updated look because all their heads are slightly blocky in a way, but some of the textures just look amazing. Mm-hmm. And what I forgot about Doom 3 was it had all the interactive control panels. So it's like you walk up to a door and then the cursor appears on it just in the middle of the game, and then you can just like download bits and pieces on your PDA or open doors and it works so seamlessly and just looks amazing.
It was a cool game. I didn't get on with it at all back in the day, but there was certainly things. It came out at the wrong time.
Yeah,
and Doom's always been like that. It's kind of like it just didn't update their shit.
Sure.
You know, they were just like still making the same games that were great, and I mean, fair play to them. They had a lot of success with it, and Doom was nuts. You know, Doom was free. Everyone had Doom, right? It was shareware back in the day. You know, you get the first few chapters or campaigns or whatever for free. The sort of visual design of it, I've never been a real fan of.
No.
It's very chunky and
it's very meaty.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't, and I'm not sure entirely, but and correct me if I'm wrong, Jed, does it still have the dude's head at the bottom of the screen?
No, it doesn't.
Like Wolfenstein did, you know, it's slowly getting beaten up.
No, it doesn't have that. I was playing a little mini game that's in there. It's an arcade machine in like a cafeteria somewhere, and basically you've just got to hit the X button, hit the Y button, and punch a turkey. That's all it is. You
punch a turkey.
Yeah, and in the top left corner is the guy's face from the original Doom, and he makes faces as you're punching the turkey.
That seems, I don't know. That seems
bizarre.
It seems highly sexualized.
Yeah,
the way you say it, like
punching a turkey.
Yeah. Excuse me while I go punch the turkey for a little bit. Yeah, and the sound, that kind of juicy, like a bit in Fight Club where he lays into Jared Leto's face.
I mean, I agree with you. I find all of the kind of character design in Doom very retros 80s.
Yeah. It's like the cover. It's like cover art. It's like cover art of any sort of
even like the Marine with his helmet on just kind of reminds you of.
Well, it's the initial. It's the original Space Marine. Right? It's the original tough guy Space Marine that we've all grown to take the piss out of, and has become very generic. You know, like Gears of War, hunky sort of Space Marine. So it's nuts, but it's cheap. It's like 30 quid.
Yeah.
You know, which is a bargain. And you were saying there was some sort of freebie with it. Or is it just if you buy a game or something?
I think it may only be via game. I haven't looked anywhere else. But for a limited time, they are doing, if you buy Doom 3 BFG Edition, you get a free copy of Rage Anarchy Edition.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's a bloody good deal.
Yeah, Rage is a good game.
It's very good.
2 games. It's not even 2 games.
It's weird, right? Like, all the bits missing from Doom to make it a fantastic game are in Rage.
Yeah.
And all the bits missing from Rage to make it a fantastic game are in Doom.
So
between
combined,
the two, you should get a pretty good experience.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. It's nice to see it back. I mean, the other sort of reason, or one of the seemingly reasons for this coming back, is all the support for Oculus Rift that John Carmack's been working on. So that mad, crazy virtual reality headset that just literally kind of fucking puts you in the game. Doesn't work with the Xbox 360 version, obviously, but
it has got compatible with 3D on.
Really cool.
Case,
So
I was talking to someone who's played this with the old 3D headset, so it made him feel extremely sick.
Yeah, well, that is. I mean, the first-person shooters for a long time made people feel it. If you go and try and play Marathon now, it'll melt your brain with the speed that it works on, and that because people moved around on roller skates back then.
Well, if you think about original Doom, the character does bob quite dramatically.
It
should give you motion sickness if you play for too long.
I always remember the great door noises in Doom. That as you go through all the doors, wicked, and just picking up blue and red key cards and stuff like that. A lot of love for Doom, and John Carmack. He's like an old man. He's like a crazy old man that's actually not an old man, but it just seems like just brilliant mind, genius, freaking dude. It's definitely worth a look. There's loads of people that didn't play Doom 3.
I haven't played it.
Yeah, loads of people.
Yeah, I loved Doom 3 when it came out originally. I just sort of got to a point where I was just like, this thing is killing me to try and play this.
Yeah, it's punishing. It's a real punishing game, and it is one of those games that you do need to play. Like it's catch-22 because like it's quite scary. There are quite scary moments, and there's lots of bespoke animated parts which are kind of like you've got all the same enemies, and there's a lot of the same enemies in these games. There's a lot of moments where they will come in a one-off way, right? Some animators conveniently animated that specifically. Like they'll bend through some stairs or climb over a rail or something, and that mixes it up. But you really do need to play this game in the dark.
Yeah.
Like for its best experience, you ideally want headphones and in the dark, classic sort of horror way, and it will shit you up.
Yeah.
But the problem is you can't play this game in daylight because of the amount of reflections you get on a TV screen because it's pitch black the whole fucking time.
Like you were saying about the animations for things just coming out of nowhere. I remember one specifically that will always stay in my mind with Doom 3. I was walking to a tiny set of stairs to go up it. The giant thing just comes flying up the stairs at me, just shit me up, just scared the living hell out of me.
But it's cool. It's a nice touch, and it's attention to detail like that does make it more than just enemies popping up and you laying shotgun into their face. The weapons are cool as well. Doing weapons have always been pretty good.
Yeah. It's to do with the art style as well. Chunky weapons are cool, but chunky characters not so much.
Yeah. Like necks urgently needed for this game that we're working on. All right, that's cool. One of the other things I want to talk about then, and something that I've been playing a little bit of since I'm currently without the internet due to the power of moving house, is Minecraft.
Yes.
We've all played a little bit of this, apart from you, Joe, because you're a stalwart Minecraft player anyway. You've played it on PC and done all this stuff.
Yeah.
For us, it's still kind of new and exciting. The creative mode got added last week.
Yep.
With the new update 1.8.2, and it adds creative mode, and it's kind of cool because now mad, crazy shit can be made in Minecraft. I have two minor complaints in it. One is when you bring up the creative mode menu, it just looks like there is nothing in Minecraft on the Xbox.
It does look that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like there's so few options.
It's like 30 building blocks.
Yeah, it's crazy. But there's new stuff immediately to play with that a lot of people won't have done, like music. Boxes and stuff and CDs and things, and I quite like changing the music.
Getting hold of those CDs is pretty grueling thing to do
in the game. Yeah, totally.
You have to get a skeleton with Archer to kill a creeper.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Mario Brothers thing of a meteor wiping out the dinosaurs and creating an alternate dimension. But so that's kind of cool. There's stuff to play there, but there's no blocks. And secondly, that game explains fuck all about how to use creative mode. Yeah. I know it's kind of a tacked on extra, but at no point does it even go, yo, you can fly, and here's how you do it.
No, it does. If you, at one point, the first time I went in, it didn't bring up the kind of update
text,
list.
The release notes.
But when I came out, it kind of went, look at all this stuff you can do. It's like, right, you should tell me that before. But it doesn't tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
I haven't played with the new updated tutorial because they always update the tutorial with a big update.
Yeah, I haven't dipped into that. I've heard there's cool new areas and they've changed a few little things. But I don't think there's anything in the tutorial about creative mode.
You'd think they'd have a separate tutorial just as for creative mode.
And that's definitely not there. But it's nuts, because you can creative mode, you can fly. Obviously, you've got infinite blocks, and they've added sprinting to the game now and stuff. But I had to Google online how to fly, and it's just double tap A, and then you'll
triple tap.
Is it triple tap?
Yeah, because you have to kind of jump twice to get him to start to levitate, and then press and hold.
Oh right, okay, yeah. So double tap to go into flying mode, and then you hold the A button to go up, and that was cool. And then I was like, well, this kind of sucks because I move at exactly the same speed as I did on ground.
Yeah.
So you go up really high so you can see something awesome, and then you're even further away from it than you were when you're on the ground. So that's going to take forever. And then to go down, because nothing's explained to me, I'm like, well, okay, I want to build something. How do I lower myself? I can't. I just got to drop out of the sky and then just conveniently catch it at exactly the right moment when I'm there. Mental. That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I've started playing around with create mode on 360, and I have discovered how to run is by double tapping in the direction you want to move.
Oh, cool. Final Fight style.
Yeah.
That's
basically, I was like, how do you run in most video games when you don't have a spare button?
But that's it. You go into creative mode and you try to figure stuff out. You try every single button and none of them do anything. And you're just like, how can this doesn't make any sense.
Just open menus.
Yeah, why, you Google it online, there's so many people going, how do you fucking fly? Just how do you fly? Because no one's trying to press the buttons that many times.
And then, to descend, you press and click in the right analog stick.
Crouching.
So, crouch, And he
which makes sense, right?
Lowers himself. But the best bit is when you run whilst flying. It is awesome.
Really?
Yeah, because you're not pressing A to ascend and the analog stick to descend. You literally just guide him up and down, and you're flying at a rate of knots like Superman. The best bit is when you come into land and he's just like as he lands on the ground.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's badass.
I'm curious to see what that looks like.
I want a Superman skin now for Minecraft.
All right. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So now, crazy builds. I haven't done very much. I kind of wandered around the world, built a house out of wool,
right?
Because that's how you make stuff that looks like other stuff, right? So I built a white house with a red roof, and it was like, this is a house that looks completely different. It's mad, and then just set the whole thing on fire, just for the sake of it. And then buzzed around the world for a little bit, found a little village, set that on fire. Cruised over to another place, a little stronghold, set that on fire, and then turned Minecraft off. And got that sort of arsonist out of me, and just stayed living in a house that was not on fire.
Yes, that's probably for the best.
There's cool shit in it. The little villages are pretty cool. The natural world, the world seems a lot bigger.
Yeah, it is.
Has
it
the
is
height
massive.
been raised as well?
Miles.
Okay.
Yesterday, I literally just went so far
Yeah,
up
I couldn't
that
tell.
I couldn't see the ground.
I was unsure, and I wasn't 100%, but I was unsure as to whether it was just massive in creative mode, and if I go into the normal mode, it would be a lot smaller.
No, I think the whole actual map
Makes sense.
That's pretty good then, yeah.
Makes sense. Have you figured out how to build a block in the sky now, just like randomly? Can you
No,
figure out? Because you were saying
that
it looks like you can only build blocks connected to another block.
Yeah, well, I figured that you just build it up and then knock out the blocks from underneath.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. You can't just build one in the
Really?
middle of
So if I wanted something really high up, I first got to build like a tiny tower. That goes, that's
and then just knock it all the way back down.
That's kind of nuts. It's cool. I will spend a lot more time with Minecraft because of this.
Yeah,
I think.
I've put it yesterday. I put in a good 3 hours on it.
I saw you tweet a picture of your border between England and Scotland.
Yeah, so one half of the screen was raining, the other half was snowing. So that's got to be the English-Scottish border, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. My other downside with Minecraft in creative mode is because you just have to tap a block once, any block, to destroy it.
Yeah,
I destroy so many blocks by accident.
I understand that. Yeah, if you're just holding that trigger, stuff will.
Well, I expect it. If there's a stone, I think it's going to take a few snaps.
But imagine trying to build something massive and all the time you're putting blocks in the wrong place, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got to destroy those, or you need to clear levels.
I suppose actually that's probably the reason why you can't put blocks down just in the air. Because there would be fucking chaos if you just constantly accidentally put them in the wrong place. They'd be just absolutely nuts. So yeah, Minecraft's pretty cool. There was another skin pack that came out, I saw.
Yeah, number 3. I got the trial for it. There's some cool stuff in there. They got the 2 robots from Portal 2. But it changes the physical size of your avatar in Minecraft. It's shorter. And so does Meat Boy in Skin Pack 2, which I bought at some point without realising. I went into my skins, I was like... No.
Is Meat Boy just literally one square?
Yeah, it must be 1 square high.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I do quite like that.
I don't know if his physical effects are still 2 square high, probably, but in the actual visual style, he is shorter than the other characters in there.
Yeah, I want to make some nut stuff now. You really like some proper big builds.
Yeah.
But it's just getting around to time. But that is my project for it's internetless.
Can you play multiple people in one creative game?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, up to 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we could make something.
Yeah. Maybe that city that we're always discussing.
Something amazing.
That city. The City of Gold.
No.
We should do that. We should make a City of Gold. Make a golden condor.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a golden condor?
And a Mayan temple.
Yeah. Done. All right. Well, yeah. Cool. Anything else happened? You guys talked about Forward Unto Dawn last episode. I still haven't watched episodes 2 and 3.
Right.
There was a trailer that came out, a mid-season trailer for it, which came out yesterday, and looked freaking awesome, and showed actually loads of the Chief.
Right.
Are you still on the fence about this?
On the negative side.
Yeah, because you'd seen 2 last time, and were like, I don't like this, so I'm not really getting into it.
Yeah.
Did 3 change your mind? Have you seen 3?
3's, yeah, I've watched 3.
Chief appears in 3, right?
I think he's a brief snap of him.
Okay.
Yeah. There's kind of other Spartans as well.
Right.
And there is a first person shooter bit.
Oh yeah, isn't there like some bit where they like hack a video file?
They're like, what are these guys? What are these guys? And
because he's like huge compared to everyone else, and
they see him kind of like talking to another UNSC troop, and he's like twice the height. And then there's a scuffle where they're fighting with the insurrectionists.
Okay.
And they're like, why are they fighting together? What's going on?
And have we seen any bad guys now?
Yes.
You've seen a reflection in a helmet.
Of what?
No. You see more than that. You see an elite cut down statue with a laser sword.
Okay.
No, I completely forgot about the entire last section, which was awesome. I thought it was.
It was brief, is what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Well, yeah, I'll check that out. I need to check it out. I'm gonna admit it. People are raving about it, so
Yeah, I'm probably the only person who's in the entire world who's watched it and who's down on it.
But
I am down on it.
All right. Okay. Well, should we do some Educating Joe? Final Educating Joe.
Yeah.
The final Educating Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's do that.
Once upon a time, there was a boy named Joe. He didn't play many video games as a child. He was too busy out running and jumping through fields, perhaps stealing apples. But then one day, he found himself inexplicably on a video game podcast, and 2 guys, Mike and Shaun, vowed to take him back through time to play the games he missed. This is Educating Joe.
Okay, Educating Joe, and this is the final Educating Joe. For some time, it may come back.
Will it?
Well, if we decide that there's more work to be done, which we will clearly have an answer to at the end.
Yeah,
Probably,
within 3 episodes, I'm sure you're going, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know, in keeping with how we're going, this is where it all started. With the shocking revelation that you not only hadn't played Space Harrier, but you didn't have a fucking clue what Space Harrier was, which is mental. So, Space Harrier is this episode's game. How did this take you, Joe?
It was quite good fun.
Was it?
Yeah.
Why? Tell me more.
Don't even know why.
Space Harrier, you're flying into the screen. It's outrun without a car and bullets.
Creatures coming at you, firing circles at you, and you're just firing blue balls at them.
Yeah. You're hovering Buck Rogers. Does he have a jetpack?
No, he's
his
just
gun,
this
I think
guy.
his gun is like a rocket booster.
Right, okay, because it's a bit weird, isn't it? It's just like a dude that looks like he's holding on to something that's
sort
flown
of-
away.
It sort of starts off as a run and then just starts flying. You can go back to running if you want.
Yeah.
It's just
I have no idea what the story is for Space Harrier.
No.
At all. It's set in the fantasy zone, which
Yeah.
sounds like an awesome zone to be in.
yeah.
It's very, very, very low polygon count and graphics and versions
Yeah.
of that. And you fire in circles at aliens.
I was just surprised that there's no menu sequence, there's no options. You just start the game, he starts out in a room, tells you where you're going, doors open, he's out, he's off.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then you just got to try and get through as many stages in your lives
Yeah.
as possible.
Well,
It is literally a classic Sega arcade machine. That's what they were like.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true. It's a proper high score run.
Yeah, it's the granddaddy of kind of on the rail shooters. At the end of the day,
Well, it's on rail shooter, but there's the rail's not very exciting.
no, it's a straight line.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Just
don't
gonna
know.
get
It's
there.
like if you go to the right of the screen and keep going, the screen
It
does turn.
pan
yeah.
slightly. Yeah,
Yeah, sure. And the big differences between the levels?
Yeah, instead of trees, you'll have poles.
Yeah.
Instead of grass, you'll have different things. Maybe the scale change.
Colour schemes,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. It all kind of looks a little bit like the 3D Sonic bonus stages
yeah,
that
Yeah.
came out. It was Sonic 2, was it, that they came
yes.
out in?
Where you're running through the kind of half pipe.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a technical showcase, I suppose, for that sort of thing. The music, Joe,
It's
is
awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all know that. The Space Harrier theme is one of the best themes up there. And certainly from Sega, because Sega, as far as I'm concerned, weren't hot on their memorable themes. They didn't do a Nintendo.
Sonic
you know?
was like the probably
Yeah,
the most
exactly. And
best
Nintendo
known.
knocked them out of the park again
Yeah.
and again and again with Zelda
Yeah.
and Mario and everything
Yeah.
like that. But Sega never really had any real standouts. There are some good ones out there, but Phantasy Star is the one. Yeah, that's Sega's Zelda theme. Phantasy Star, did I say Phantasy Star? Why are you whispering to me, Sean? I'm not editing this out. Phantasy Star, yeah, it was a great game as well, but not one we're talking about. Space Harrier had one of the greatest things. Yeah, this game, I never really played a lot of this game as a kid. I didn't really like it.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of one of those games that someone always seemed to own, and at some point would go on.
It was everywhere.
Yeah,
It was everywhere. But you just don't do enough.
no, it's kind of like Altered Beast was another.
Oh, Beast's terrible.
Yeah, another game that everyone seemed to own on Mega Drive, but no one liked.
Yeah.
And
So
it's just
packed
you
it
just
in
walking
there.
to the side punching stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
true.
similar kind of.
Like the art style on it. So the enemies are just like the generic flying plane sort of thing, and that's all that I was coming up across against. It's like when the dragon first appeared, I was like, "There's a boss." It's not. It's like halfway through a level,
Yeah.
and then you fight the boss at the end, which is a 3-headed turtle.
No, why not? Why not? I mean, the world's it's fantasy zone, man. That's where it is. Anything goes
So
in
yeah,
fantasy
exactly.
zone.
Yeah, I suppose if you got that license, if you kind of going, this is a zone made of pure fantasy.
But why are
You
being
can stick in
attacked?
whatever you want.
A dragon? Yeah, it's perfectly fine. A 3-headed turtle? Friendliest things in the world.
Are they? Are they? Is that a fact? Are you saying that no one's ever met an angry 3-headed turtle?
How many turtles do you come across that are angry?
This
Apart
is a-
from the obvious
This
ones.
is a 3-headed
Terrapins?
turtle.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
said apart from the obvious
Let's
ones.
not forget Razor from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Thing.
Raphael is usually in some sort of
Yeah,
bad
he had a
mood.
bit of an attitude problem. No, this one's got 3 heads. That's in potential can be 3 times as bad as an average turtle.
Maybe the 3 heads just cause it to be irrational and it just wants to kill.
Yeah.
Maybe it only got one piece of lettuce to share between each head.
It's a nightmare. Maybe only one can go inside the shell at a time.
Well, no, all three can go inside. It doesn't have any legs, so I'm assuming it just has 3 heads and nothing else and just hovers above the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
that'd be enough to anger you if you
what
couldn't do
happens
anything.
in the fantasy zone, Joe, stays in the fantasy zone.
Yeah.
Space Harrier, I don't know. There's loads of references to Space Harrier in Bayonetta, of all things. There's actually like a Space Harrier level in Bayonetta where you're doing exactly the same thing.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, you're just hovering through the sky as Bayonetta and you're firing circles at things and a Space Harrier music plays.
Okay.
It's Space Harrier. So that's kind of a nod, but they get it right. They go like, you kind of just want to hear the music, right? That's kind of, you just want to hear the music.
You just want to hear Space Harrier.
I'm not sure how many Space Harrier games there were. There was Space Harrier, obviously, arcade and stuff. Space Harrier 2 was quite a big release, and that was the main sort of console one, Genesis version.
Right.
But there was also another Space Harrier that was a direct sequel that wasn't Space Harrier 2. There's some sort of weird confusion in there where they got all fucked up with the numbers and the names.
Right.
But it's dead. It's a dead franchise.
Yeah.
It's not,
What a shame.
Really, Joe? No love for this whatsoever?
It was fun for a little while, but it just became bizarre and terrible.
I mean, it's a pretty monotonous game at the end of the day as well.
The soundtrack is the only thing that saves it, really. But I'm sure after a couple of hours of that, the soundtrack will just wear thin.
I don't know where you go with it. Where do you go with Space Harrier, Side-scrolling,
I mean, well, if you look at kind of the most recent range in kind of that genre, you got Star Fox.
Yeah, sure.
You got
Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah. So if things can be added, lock on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as you do that sort of res style shooting, where you're just like highlighting enemies, that sort of Child of Eden sort of stuff, where you're just tagging things and then.
And once you've got lock on, then it doesn't necessarily have to be from behind the character. You can then fuck around with the perspective.
It was interesting when we sat down to record this today, Joe, and you were like, "Yeah, and you can run," and it's like, "Well, you can, but what's the fucking point? That dude doesn't run anywhere. Why would you? It's just like I'm just gonna hover with my gun."
Just to break up the flying.
Yeah.
He needs to do something with his legs, otherwise, he'll end up,
It's important to stay grounded.
It's really skinny legs.
Yeah.
A massive upper body.
So Space Harrier, it's not the greatest game. I mean, hats off to you for playing it again now, Joe. But it's not one that I'm going back to on a daily basis.
The only time I will play this game is in Shenmue.
Yes, it is in Shenmue.
It is in
That's
Shenmue.
true.
And Super Hang-On.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Super Hang-On as well, another game that was referenced in Bayonetta.
Yeah.
In a phenomenal sequence, in fact. But, it's in Shenmue. It does crop up from time to time. It is a Sega classic.
Definitely.
And they know it.
Yeah.
And so maybe we'll see something more of it.
They kind of tend to come back to these things, don't they? They've tried to reinvent Shinobi several times and failed.
Yeah, they don't let go of stuff. And at the moment, Sega are on a massive sort of re-release stuff trip to try and get things out.
Wouldn't surprise me
so
to
maybe
see
Space Harrier HD.
Yeah.
In 3D.
Well,
in 3D, yeah.
It's also on the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. It's the arcade version, but you have to unlock it. You have to achieve certain
Was it
things.
ever in 3D, actually? That's a good point, because Hang-On was in 3D, right, at some point?
Maybe.
And there was, like, early Master System 3D stuff.
Yeah.
Space Harrier just seems like it would be a good fit for 3D.
Certainly.
I'm not sure if that ever happened or not. We'll have a look into it. But, in closing, Joe, Space Harrier, how do you feel?
Yeah, it was alright for a little while.
How does it sit on your list of, the game? We played a lot of games in Educating Joe.
Upper sort of, I don't know, quarter.
The upper quarter. So it means a lot.
That's pretty good.
That's better than it should be. To be honest.
I just couldn't remember what we played so far.
No, well, we're going to remind you very soon.
I
Joe,
know.
Because obviously this is the last Educating Joe, and there's no point in us doing Educating Joe if you're not going to learn anything from it. That was the whole point of this. In many ways, Shaun and I are like charity workers that have seen your plight, and thought we can do something about that. And so we've tried to. That's what we've done. In 23 weeks. I mean, you look at it that way, that's a lot of time. It's a lot of investment that we've put into you as a person. This has cost you nothing. We've done this off our own back.
A course like this should cost you like $1,000 at least.
And I am very thankful for you for imparting your knowledge on occasion.
Well, we need to see now, really, exactly how much of that knowledge you've received, taken on board, processed and retained. So as with any sort of university course, because that's what this is, Joe. You're part of the Educating Joe University, EJU. We need to find out if you graduate.
Okay.
So I've compiled a series of questions that I've got here for you, based on the 23 episodes that we have done Educating Joe for. Just one simple question about each of the games we've played, and we'll see how you do. There isn't. You may be thinking, what are the criteria? How you decide whether I pass or fail? That's really just going to come down to our judgment of how you answer these questions. It's not a case of you've got to get 15 out of 23 right and then you're onto a winner. No, we will be deciding here whether you pass or fail. So really need to put some effort into these questions. You haven't seen these.
No,
Obviously,
no.
You've had no preparation for these apart from the 23 weeks of training that you've had. So we are expecting you to be quite good.
But it has been 23 weeks since I played the original.
We did
title on that
forget
list.
to tell you to make notes, but
Yeah. No. But
you should have done it off your own back.
exactly. Can I just confirm before we go into this that you haven't brought a calculator with you?
I haven't got one in my
Or
hand.
any sort of apparatus. Where is your phone?
It's in my
Is
pocket.
another good environment, good thing to check. All right, we'll go straight into it then, as long as you're okay with that.
Yeah, okay.
23 questions then, one on each of the games we have played. You can play along at home.
I'm keeping score for Joe.
And we'll give you the answers at the end. So play along, see how you do. First game we played, Joe, all those 23 weeks ago, was Zombies Ate My Neighbours, or just Zombies, depending on where you came from. This was a great little game, top-down shooty water pistol-a-thon, starring two main characters, a little boy and a little girl. What I want to know, Joe, is what were the names of the two main characters in Zombies Ate My Neighbours? If you can get one, I'll be impressed.
Not coming to me.
If I'll give you a little bit of a clue. I'll give you clues to help you out. The guy's name began with a Z, and is not what you would expect a child to be called. And the girl's name began with a J.
Really not coming to me.
Drawing blanks. All right, we're going to put that down as an incorrect answer. The correct names were Zeke and Julie. All right. Moving on from that then, the second game that we played in the Educating Joe Rampage was Super Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay, on the Super Nintendo. Classic game, we all remember this. The question for this one, and it's a bit of an open-ended answer, but we'll see if you get it right, is how hard is this game?
Discuss.
This game is as hard as any game we played in those 23 weeks. Probably one of the hardest games that I've actually played.
Okay.
And a motherfucker of a game.
Yeah, well, the correct answer that I've got down here is super bastard hard, but we'll accept your answer. Yes, we'll give you that one.
Motherfucker's close enough.
That was correct, yeah. Third game then was Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo. Again, another classic. We really were too good to you throughout this course. What I want to know is what number in the series is this? What number Metroid game? There are actually two answers because actually the chronological order of Metroid of where this game sits in the story is not the same as the number it is. So if it was the fifth game in the series, it's not actually the fifth game in the story. If that makes sense. What I'm after is what number Metroid game was this? It's early on.
I want to say 3, but I don't know if that's right. 3
is the correct answer, Joe. Very good. It actually comes 7th in the chronology of the Metroid series.
Okay.
I think Metroid Prime and things are before it. So the fourth game we played then was Toe Jam and Earl. Classic game, getting a re-release on XBLA and PSN very soon, in fact. Starring our good friends Mr. Toe Jam and Mr. Earl. What I want to know, Joe, is what planet are Toe Jam and Earl from and where are they trying to get back to? It's the same place.
Is it Funkatron?
It is Funkatron, correct. Fourth game then, I believe, is it the fourth game? No, fifth game we played was Another World. You liked this game,
Yes,
Joe.
I did
So
indeed.
I'm expecting a correct answer from this one because you did actually finish this one. Simple question really. What car does the lead character Lester Knight Chaikin drive on his way to the laboratory in the opening sequence? The computer does mention it to him. Scans his keys.
I want to say Corvette, and I don't know why.
Ooh, I'm afraid
Probably miles off.
that is incorrect. It is a Ferrari.
Okay.
Next game we played then was Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse on the Mega Drive. Nice, easy question for you. You've got to get this. What projectile does Mickey Mouse use to defeat his enemies? There are two answers I'll accept for this. One is straight off the bat. Another one you don't get immediately.
One of them you can jump on them.
Yeah, but that's not a projectile that he throws.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of what he throws. I want to say.
Say what you want to say.
I don't even. Just trying to think of it. It's not coming to me.
What would you throw if you were Mickey Mouse?
All I can remember is it's round.
It is round.
I want to say fruit, and I don't know why.
Well, except fruit, it's apples. It's apples. It's also marbles later in the game. Next game we played then was Haunting, starring Poltergeist, that cheeky chappy, who obviously throughout the game you are haunting a family, same family, from house to house, just causing them terror and getting them to flee. What I want to know, Joe, is what was the name of that family?
I knew that was going to be the question.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got no clue.
It's a tough one. It is a tough one.
I've got no clue.
They were called the Sardinis.
That's one random name.
So sadly you didn't get that one. Next game then we played was Saturday Night Slam Masters, the Capcom Wrestle Fest beat 'em up. What I would like to know, Joe, for this one is what was the original Japanese name for this game? It is fantastic, and also I knew that this one would speak to you directly.
Is it Super Body Master Exploder or somewhere around there?
It's pretty close. It was Muscle Bomber: The Body Explosion, which not only is the original Japanese game name for this, but also a series of DVDs that I'm sure you own. I think we'll let you have that. Because you've got the general crazy gist of it. After that, then we played General Chaos, personal favourite of mine on the Mega Drive. General Chaos, obviously a war game with teams, but each of the teams had a general that commanded the teams. I want to know what were the names of the two generals in General Chaos. Bit of a clue, the title gives one of them away.
Well, obviously General Chaos.
Yeah, what was the other guy? What was your opponent?
I'm assuming it's opposite to Chaos. I don't know why. It just seems like it, but I just can't think of what.
Well, like General Peace? General Peace and Quiet? General Tea and Biscuits?
Something like that.
It's similar to Chaos.
Yeah, is it similar to Chaos?
Similar to Chaos.
I don't know. General Armageddon.
If you were right, you're setting up a Twitter account for the first time. You're the second user on Twitter. The first user on Twitter is General Chaos. You call yourself General Chaos, but you can't have the name. What do you go for instead?
General Chaos 2.
General Chaos 2. I'm afraid that is incorrect. The actual answer is General Havoc.
Havoc.
Yeah. After that, then we moved on to Batman Returns. The side-scrolling beat 'em up where you can slam dudes into the windows in the background. What I want to know, simple question, is who developed the SNES version of this game?
That is very easy.
It's very easy.
Very easy. He's giving you this point.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I want to say. I don't even know why I want to say Warner Brothers. I don't know why. But... yeah.
I know. All that 23 weeks. 23 weeks. It was Konami.
Okay.
After that, then we took a little diversion into PC country with Syndicate.
Yeah.
Also, on other platforms, but the PC version was what we mainly looked at. This game was made by Bullfrog. Very old, large company that made loads of classic games back in the day. But which famous liar founded the company?
Peter Molyneux.
That's correct, yes. Uni-Rally was next. Classic Uni-Rally, or Uni-Racers over here. I believe it was Uni-Racers, wasn't it? It was Uni-Rally in the States.
Yeah.
What I would like to know for this game is if I put my name in the title screen, the name creation screen as Sonic, what will the game tell me?
You're not cool enough.
I'm not cool enough. That's right. Okay. After that, then, and you know where you're going to get this one, but hey, throw it out there. UN Squadron, Capcom, side-scrolling shooter, airplane shooter. What was the name? And it's also based on a manga, so this could be manga knowledge, although it wasn't called UN Squadron in the manga. What was the name of the terrorist group that you were going up against?
Yeah, that one's not coming to me.
Give me a name of a terrorist group.
There's dozens.
Give me anyone.
No.
Al-Qaeda. It wasn't Al-Qaeda.
that was obvious.
It was Project 4. The notorious Project 4.
What a fucking ridiculous name.
Yes. Yeah, oh yeah. Okay, good question now. Rock and Roll Racing was next. Classic racing game with fantastic music. What was the name of the song that plays over the title screen as the credits come up?
I know the song. I've got it playing in my head.
I mean, if you can give us a rendition of the song, that will also get you the point if it's correct.
I'm trying to think if this is the title one or if it's the beginning of the race.
Well,
but is it the one that goes da 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 da? Is it that one? No?
That's correct. Yeah. That was Paranoid by Black Sabbath there
you go.
as played by Joe.
Yeah.
What you meant was
Yeah, but I have no musical talent whatsoever.
Or
the
a song,
stage is set, the
apparently.
green flag drops. Actually, I'm going to give you that point, but I've actually got that wrong because that isn't the song that plays over the title screen. That is the start of the race.
Okay.
First race. Over the title screen, it's da 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 da.
Okay.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. But we'll still give you that because all of that's fantastic.
Yeah.
We then moved on to Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, big favourite of yours, Joe.
Yep.
What I would like to know is how does Michael turn into a badass robot in the game?
Doesn't he slap a monkey?
Slap a monkey will accept, yeah. He touches the monkey. Exactly how he touches that monkey is currently unknown.
I know. Yeah.
We then moved on to Demolition Man on the Super Nintendo. And this game was mainly a side-scroller.
Yep.
Okay. But what was the other surprise viewpoint that no one really knew about that just kind of popped up in the second level?
It's gone from me.
How else were you playing this game? It was kind of like Contra. Contra also did it. Super Contra also did it. So it's normal side scroller. What was the other viewpoint that you would go where you would see it from? I mean, there's not many anyway.
It was top down, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was top down. That is correct.
It took me ages to remember, but yeah.
Okay, next up we had a blast playing Super Bomberman.
Yeah.
And Bomberman in general, in fact, on a whole host of different systems. What I would like to know is the Saturn version, of which I found today, actually, in moving house. I found my copy of the Sega Saturn version of Bomberman, which is a good find. Caseless, but still there. How many players could the Saturn version infamously have for Bomberman?
Was it 8?
You could have 8. That is not the answer I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is the maximum number of players that you could have on Saturn Bomberman. And now you know it is more than 8. Did involve 2 multi-taps.
I don't know. 16 seems too much. 12 seems more likely, but it's one of the two.
Give me your final answer, please.
We'll go with 16. We'll go crazy.
The official answer was 10.
Was it 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You've got to allow for multi-taps to be plugged in. Which is going to take up slots.
Yeah.
On the thing. After that, then we moved into Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, Super Nintendo was Killer Instinct. Yeah. What was the move called used to escape a combo being done to yourself?
It tells you constant.
Yeah. I'm doing a combo on you. I've hit you 47 times. How are you going to get out of this combo? What are you going to do to my combo?
I want to say combo breaker.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will accept combo breaker. That is correct. Next question then. Cyborg Justice was the game that we played. Robots ripping pieces off of other robots and attaching them to themselves. What year, Joe? What year was this game released?
I don't know.
What year were you born, Joe?
88.
Alright, it wasn't too far off of that. You were under the age of 6.
I want to say 92.
Ooh, 1993, I'm afraid. Following that, then we moved on to Nights into Dreams. We played the XBLA version. Obviously, this is an old Saturn game. You can go out and get this now. Which famous team at Sega developed this game?
Was it
Famous team.
Was it Team Sonic?
Well, you could say Team Sonic. I think they prefer to be known as Sonic Team.
Okay.
But yes, we'll accept
I'm
that as
sure
the
which
right
way round
answer.
it was, yeah.
Then we moved into Blackthorn.
Yep.
The great shotgun blasting over the shoulder rampage that it is. Who developed this game? Big company,
Blizzard.
famous. Yes, that's right, famous for their MMO World of Warcraft. And then lastly, Space Harrier. You've got to get this right, Joe, otherwise there is some serious stuff wrong with you. In what zone is this set?
In the fantasy zone.
The fantasy zone is correct. And one more bonus question. What have you learned from this so far? From the 23 episodes, the 23 lessons, lectures, if you will, about these games?
That playing old games you never played before is probably not a good idea.
All right, that's fair enough. That's ungrateful, but that's fair enough.
No, it's good for a learning experience, but to have fun, not a great idea.
Okay. Well, let's turn over to Shaun now on the scoreboards to see how you've done. He's counting.
14.
14 out of 23. To be perfectly honest, Joe, that is better than I thought you would do. that is better than I thought. It's more than half.
Yep.
A little bit of quick maths there. I'm no expert, but that 14 is more than half. I'm Yeah, how do you feel about this, Shaun? How do you...
I was surprised he did that well.
I am surprised.
And he let some easy ones slip.
That's true. A little bit of brushing up. There's you could have gone. I think with that in mind, with the fact that you were close to a few, you didn't really prepare, given this. We did drop it on you last week, and also for your fantastic rendition of "Paranoid" by Black Sabbath. I think I'm inclined to give you a pass on that.
I'd agree.
So congratulations, Joe. You have graduated from EJU. You're now... Well, now the next step is to sort of slowly rehabilitate you back into society, get you out there, mingling with the people.
You
maybe
do have some letters after your name now.
Yeah, exactly. They're not good ones. So you can
just
now,
a bachelor. You're not a bachelor of arts.
Now, whenever you write your name, you can put the words the letter COCK just after your name, just up there, and you should be proud of that. That's very good. So you can have conversations with people now and talk to them about, another world. You could have got that question right. Space Harrier, Castle of Illusion, loads of things. This is, I'm impressed. If nothing else, I'm impressed that you've played all these games. 23 weeks of hard grafting. And you certainly played a lot more of them than we did.
Yes.
Yes. We played these games back in the time, but we were forced to. That was entertainment back in the day. For you've had to do it voluntarily, and that takes some doing. So, yes, congratulations, Joe. Who knows what we'll have? Yeah, slow clap. There will, at some point in a later date, not today, be a formal presentation of your graduation certificate, and maybe we'll even video that for the people at home to see. So now, really, I guess it's time to start thinking of a speech for that moment. In the future, obviously, that's the last Educating Joe. We won't be having any more for a little while. Maybe we'll revisit later in the day. But we'll have something else for next episode. We're not going to talk about exactly what that is just yet. But next episode, which will be the start of season 5 of Things We Play, will have a brand new segment on the end of it. So that's something to look forward to. But yeah, that's it. That's Educating Joe. May it rest in peace.
It was good.
And I would like to say goodbye for this episode, as it's the end of Educating Joe. Not the end of me, but end of Educating Joe.
It might be the end of you.
And thank you too for your time and patience with training me in this time period.
It has been a wild ride of joy, Joe.
I am glad to hear that.
Every week. But, our island training with the bamboo cane and the hanging from the tree upside down, doing splits and stuff, it was good. Yeah, I felt we bonded in that time period, Joe.
Exactly. All right, that's Educating Joe. Okay, that was the final Educating Joe, and that means this is the end of episode 40 of Things We Play. We do hope that you've enjoyed the episode. I think we've had a lot of fun today. Next week, who knows what we've been playing? There's quite a few games coming out. There's Forza Horizons, you were saying, Joe?
Yep.
What else is on the cards?
Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor.
Yep.
You got to be pretty psyched for that.
I am, yes.
Yeah, yes. Dreadful. I won't be playing that. I won't be playing that game.
That's not surprising.
Categorically say it now. There is some other stuff. Do we know what XBLA is coming out?
Don't.
I mean, this week was a bit crap when it was like Zombie Driver HD and Serious Sam. Yeah, HD. So not fun. I don't know when Toe Jam and Earl Collection's coming out, but that might be on the cards. And stuff is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Right around the corner. Assassin's Creed 3, Halo 4. Literally, like we said, only a couple of weeks away. I feel like Absolution must be coming very soon, but it's not.
I think it's 20th of November, if memory serves correct, but I might be lying.
See, even that feels like it's miles away, but it's not. It's like that's pretty close as well. So there are some games coming out and lots of stuff for us to be played. We're going to take a look at some point in some form, be a video or on the podcast, a load of Connect stuff, because we figured that would be an absolute blast. And I'm still dying to get my hands on the train wreck that was Steel Battalion.
Sure.
So look forward to that. In the meantime, you can catch us on Twitter at Things We Play. You can also email us if you want, drop by, let us know what's going on. If you found a controller that Joe's made up or anything like that, just drop us an email, thingsweplay@gmail.com. And obviously check the website for www.thingsweplay.net, where you'll see lots of crazy stuff. And now it's the one place on the internet that contains more photos of Joe than anywhere else. So ladies, get on down there. That's it. We'll see you in 7 days' time for some more great gaming chat.
Aye.
Goodbye.
Baked potato.
Shocking.